Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Good morning, San Antonio. Happy Tuesday. It is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Glad to be with you. I am AJ Hoffman, joined as always by Mr. Rob Thompson. Rob, good morning to you, sir.
Good morning. Let me fix my mic. While we are just beginning, or you guys are just beginning your day, AJ and I have been sitting and talking for the last 40 minutes. It's been a genuinely enjoyable conversation this morning. We're going to have a great show. We're going to have a good time today.
I think we might. It's a big day today, and I think everyone knows why.
No, I don't.
The WNBA season tips off. It is opening day, baby. Welcome, yeah.
Hey, ride the wave, right?
We are riding the wave. You know what? I was so pissed off. I found out that Brittany Griner is out indefinitely with a broken toe.
Ouch.
Give me a break. Like, really? Toughen up, Brittany. We traded an arms dealer for you.
The Merchant of Death, if I recall.
We traded someone called the Merchant of Death
you got
to get you back here to play basketball, and you're talking about a broken toe? I know damn well if it was 3-on-3 in the yard in the gulag
against Svetlana and Olga and Natasha.
Yeah, and you guys were playing for cartons of cigarettes and your toe was broken, you would have taped it up, got out there, and won those stogies. So don't act like you can't do it with a broken, like.
So she's out for the year.
No, it just says out indefinitely. Like there's no timeline on it, but she's missing opening day. I woke up this morning, my alarm went off, and I was like, oh, my God, it's finally here.
Did you have a specific alarm?
No.
Is there a WNBA alarm?
No.
Wonder what that would be.
That's a good question.
You got to be careful.
It's funny because I always press snooze, and that's what I think about, but it's, no, I don't think so.
The WNBA bat signal.
Yeah, but it is opening day for WNBA, and Brittany Griner won't be there, but Caitlin Clark will. And in maybe the most shocking development ever, this lady coach that has been running Iowa basketball.
Why are you dogging this poor lady?
This woman.
Why are you dogging her?
You talk
she
about.
Climbed the mountain, baby.
No, she didn't.
Well, for an Iowa head coach, she did.
No, she didn't climb a mountain. Lisa Bluder. I don't know if that's how you say it. It might be
I like the way you said it, though. So.
I would say Lisa Blue Day because it's Bluder, but she's from Iowa.
They don't say Blue Day in
and
Iowa.
Looking at her haircut, she sounds like a Bluder to me.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a Bluder.
Damn. She's a Bluder. 24 seasons as head coach of the Hawkeyes, 40 overall coaching. The winningest women's basketball coach in Big Ten history. She conveniently decides to call it a career right after Caitlin Clark.
I don't get why you're holding this against her. It ain't gonna get any better. This was it.
Of course it's not.
Well, why would I want to hang around Iowa for she's a 26th year?
Jan Jensen, who's the next lady in charge. Lisa said, Jan, come into my office, honey. I got to talk to you. Jan, I'm handing over the keys to you, girl. Coach Bluder, why didn't you do this a year ago? You're setting me up for Jan, don't think about the downside. Just think about this. You get this office now. You get to go out and recruit these undersized white girls, and maybe one day you'll also hit a miracle player that, like, one of these undersized white girls who can actually play. You'll find one, just like I did. And after you do that, you'll hand the keys to the next person in line as soon as she almost wins you a championship.
Well, get a book deal and leave. She's got a book deal.
Get me out of here.
The woman. Celebrate. This is a worthy achievement.
Well, good for her.
Morning, Goldfinger.
What a great time to get out. She said she had a quote. I look forward to being the biggest champion for Iowa basketball. It's like, why weren't you a champion when you were coaching then? Why didn't you try it then? You let Gino Auriemma and Dawn Staley and Pat Summitt. What was that? What was that old gal at Texas? Jody Conrad. You let them eat up all the trophies while you were Kim Mulkey. Yeah. Boy, I won't even say that.
That's why I was going to say Kim Mulkey for the last, because anytime you hear Kim Mulkey, you go, well, okay, let's address that.
I saw a picture of Kim Mulkey.
Dressed as Elvis?
No. She didn't have her fake eyelashes on and she wasn't all made up.
Uh-huh.
Boy, let me just say it this way. Technology for women has come a long way. And man, it's funny because like dudes just lie like to get women. And we've that's a long standing, it's a tale as old as time, they would say, Rob. When are we going to start saying that like women with like push-up bras and
hey, we like that. Let's not talk about that. We want them to do that. Let's not dissuade the women from doing this.
Well, it's not just that. There's also like compression undergarments.
I'm not against that either.
And fake eyelashes and makeup. But then like you spray them down with a hose and they look like
jokes there, but you go ahead.
They look like Vic.
Well, what? Okay.
Like, who wants that?
Damn.
Well, I'm just saying.
They're
lying too. They're telling their own lies.
It's okay.
All right.
Like it's as old as time. So we all, so you chew your arm off in the morning, but the night before, that's really
keep your makeup on until I'm drunk, honey.
Turn the lights off. There's a lot of 3 a.m. beauties out there.
Well,
I've relied on it many a time, my friend. I am that 3 a.m. beauty.
Well, good for you. Well, just so everyone knows, I was going to kind of break down the WNBA schedule for you. You know what? I don't know what's funny about that, Rob.
Oh, okay.
You know what? Actually, I will. There's 4 games on the card tonight.
How many WNBA teams can you name? Because I'm frozen at about 3.
Okay,
4.
There is the Las Vegas Aces, the New York Liberty, Libbity Bibbity.
Close. All right.
Is that wrong or
no? You're good.
Okay,
but there was a stumble on number 2, so I'm starting to get worried here.
The Phoenix Mercury.
I'm with you.
Now it's getting tricky.
Hometown team, former San Antonio team, Becky.
I thought that was the Aces now.
What about? that is the Ace. I thought you brought up the Liberty Aces and the Mercury.
That's what I've got.
Okay,
so
sorry.
How about I tell you the name of the city that they play in?
Okay.
The Los Angeles Sparks, right?
I believe that's
LA
correct.
Sparks.
Now we're reaching the limits of my knowledge. So
now I know the Indiana Fever.
The Fevers. Isn't there a Lynx? That's
Minnesota Lynx. Uh-huh.
What's Atlanta?
Ooh, is it the Atlanta Dream? Or is
that sounds close?
It sounds kind of made up too, though. I
the
don't
Dallas
know.
Wings. I didn't know that until last night. They were on the court. The Dallas Wings.
I've never heard of that. Is that an expansion team?
I think they must be new. I'd like to think I'd know a little bit about this stuff.
So I know Chicago has a team. I think maybe it's called the Sky, but I don't know.
See, here we go. That's my point.
Seattle has a team. I'm unsure of their mascot. Indiana, I know, is the Fever now. Like I said, Washington has a. I want to say but it's
Mystics?
not Mystics. That's right. I knew it was something to do with the Wizard. I don't know Atlanta's mascot. I don't know Chicago's mascot.
Is there a WNBA team in the state of Florida? Is there one in Orlando or Miami or?
Not that I can name. I can tell you that much. But Atlanta's close enough. But yeah, I don't know I can't name the mascot for Atlanta, Chicago. I didn't know that Dallas had a team. I can't name the mascot for Seattle.
So when
there might be more teams, but I don't know.
So when I saw the commissioner on the WNBA commissioner on ESPN over the weekend trumpeting the beginning, and they're talking about striking while the iron is hot. I get the chase, but I don't think they realize the depths of which they're coming from. Because when most people can't even name more than 4 people in the very league, you're telling me it's hot.
Brittany Griner.
Is that your safe word?
Caitlin Clark. That's 2.
There's 2. See, I mean, strike while the iron's hot. Things are flowing. And I get it, but I don't think they realize how far you gotta come.
No, it's wild. Listen, good for them. I know it's all over. It's all over Sports Center. They're gonna, but I don't know who's gonna watch this. There's 2 games on ESPN2 today.
I have no doubt they're going to set viewership records. But you can't fall off the floor. And I want to trumpet that. I don't want to downplay it, but I think that there is a wave right now. But the realization is going to set in really quick on week 3 of the WNBA that we have a long way to go.
This is going to be very Jeremy Lin-esque.
It feels that way, right?
This girl better be so good for forever and ever, because as soon as she shows some weakness, people are going to be out of there. Here, I'm going to go ahead. We're skipping early to the daily lines.
Oh, by the way, yeah.
We just, again, I don't know. I can't name a player on this other team, but my instinct would be take Connecticut -6.5 tonight against the Indiana Fever, because
what's the Connecticut?
The Sky.
The Sky. We didn't name them either.
But I would guess that everybody who's walking up to a ticket window in Vegas today or logging into DraftKings is saying, oh, it's Caitlin Day. And she's catching points.
She's catching points at just about every service because everybody's kind of looking at it.
Yeah. So my thought would be fade her. So there you go. That's enough WNBA talk.
Not a lot of confidence going into the year.
What do you think? She's going to be the MVP? She's a little white girl.
Let me tell you, like I said at the beginning of the tournament, you just better get out of the way of the Caitlin train. There's other work that needs to be done, like we were just talking about. This season is all about promotion of the game, not the quality of such.
Well, I'll say this. I've just given them more promotion than I've ever given the league in my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
So congratulations. Apparently they're flying charter. Things are looking up.
Which is,
but like you said, you can't fall off the floor.
Yeah, man, they're big time.
Yeah. I remember when we we used to look at, because they were complaining about money, and I remember looking up like the highest paid players in the WNBA. Like at the time, I was making more money than the highest paid player in the WNBA.
Well,
made me feel good about myself.
I know, manager of Arby's.
Yeah, like, and then we were going through all the occupations that you could do. Like you could choose to do this, or you could play in the WNBA and make less. Those are your options.
I will say this though, in their defense, I know a lot of guys that have chased that dream that made a lot less to be a professional basketball player. So they're not alone in that dream. They're just, they're playing here. I know guys that have played in Taiwan and Saudi Arabia and you name the country to go play ball. So while, WNBA, we're getting $75K. I know dudes that were getting 50, taking zip lines to a game in the Philippines. I mean, just some crazy stories. So it wasn't as bad as they might portray it. There's other people going through the same stuff.
Well, I had a buddy who played at Texas who ended up going to play pro ball in Turkey.
Yeah.
And they treated him like a damn king. And he was, his name was Brian Boddicker. Like
I know Big Brian Boddicker.
Yeah, he was a good ball player, good college player. Never going to be a pro,
but he was a pro. He got paid
never going to be an NBA pro.
Yeah.
But some people that's what they do.
There's a lot of guys I know that went through it and they did it for their entire,
make it your career.
They made it.
I'm going to try and get my kid to go play in the KBO. I'm going to say, hey man, forget about college baseball or any of that, chasing the MLB dream. Go play for the NC Dinos and, make yourself some money. And
I thought they came here. Do we go there? Are we sending our Otanis there?
Well, I think every Korean team's allowed to have 2 American players.
Okay. I knew that they couldn't have many.
Yeah, I don't know what the total rule
Do we
is.
dominate, or do they are they just bit players?
They're all guys who are kind of washed out here.
Yeah.
I don't know that they dominate, but usually they're like pretty top of the roster guys.
Steph Marbury went to China, and they're erecting statues to him after he was washed up here.
He becomes a god king there because he's like over 6 foot tall, which is
he's a giant.
Other than Yao, he's taller than every person in China. And they're always like, when's the next Yao coming? Well, I mean,
look around, whoever you see, you'll see him.
Yeah,
see him
whoever's head is sticking out. Teach that guy basketball. All right, we're gonna hit a break. When we come back, we're gonna talk about some, I won't say real basketball, but there was a basketball match last night between the Thunder and Mavericks that was pretty entertaining. And boy, we got to start maybe asking some questions about your boy Luka. It is the Morning Huddle on San Antonio's Sports Star.
San Antonio's Sports Star.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so different than the rest of us?
We ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Tell me more.
Our investment counselors focus on service over sales, prioritizing clients' needs.
How do you make money?
We don't sell any commission-based products. We have a simple management fee based on the value of our client's portfolio. So we do better when our clients do better.
What about client portfolios?
We get to know each client, their finances, family, health, lifestyle, and more, and then we tailor a portfolio based on their specific goals and needs.
Your clients really come first then, huh?
Yes, we make them a top priority. Our goal is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Over the past decade, the Roo Pub has proven to be the best place to watch games with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. All the games, all the UFC fights, and when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and certainly the best place to watch a game. The Roo Pub is next to the Angry Elephant and in the same plaza as the Big Blind. They're at 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
This is the absolute worst time of year to be dealing with joint pain. You can't do the outdoor stuff that you love to do, like golfing, hiking, biking, jogging, playing on the beach. Hey, it's James Pledger with San Antonio Sports Star. Listen, don't go through the summer missing out on life. Call QC Kinetics now and find out how they can use biologics from your own body to give new life to your achy joints, like your knees, hips, back, shoulders. QC's regenerative medicine protocols can restore and repair that damaged tissue with no surgery, no steroids, no drugs, and best of all, no downtime. This is the future of medicine. Tens of thousands of QC Kinetics patients around the country are living their best life this year because they made the call. QC medical professionals are under the direction of Dr. Mitchell Shinecup, who is an orthopedic surgeon who became the future pioneer in regenerative medicine. He knew there had to be a better way. So call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation. 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. 210-571-0318. Locations in Hollywood Park, Westover Hills, and New Braunfels.
With a true Vegas feel, the Big Blind is the premier poker room in San Antonio, featuring an upscale environment catering to players from all abilities. From high-octane tournaments or lively cash games, the Big Blind has a game for everyone, including blackjack tournaments. From the owners of the Roo Pub and the Angry Elephant, the Big Blind is locally owned and operated, offering daily cash games to daily, weekly, and monthly tournaments. Learn more online at thebigblindsa.com. The Big Blind at 281 and Redland Road.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
O'Reilly.
Check engine light on? Take the guesswork out of your check engine light with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free and provides a report with solutions based on over 650 million vehicle scans verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we can recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Find what you love, love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. Spirits and beer, thousands of wines. Guides in the know and prices so low, it just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
Only at Total Wine and More. Drink responsibly. B21.
You're listening to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Yeah, baby, 6:21 on the Morning Huddle. We've got our WNBA talk for the year. We've reached our quota. Rob kept talking WNBA to me during the break. He's like, man, Asia Wilson, like Diana Taurasi,
eyelashes,
Sue Bird,
models,
Cheryl Swoops. He said, and I was like, yeah, I agree with you.
You better smile when you say Cheryl. She's Saint Cheryl around Texas parts.
Speaking of Texas, there was a game last night in the Metroplex where, boy, for most of the game, it looked like Dallas was going to take a commanding 3-1 lead. Those damn land pirate Okies came back and took it in the final stretch. 102-96 was the final. OKC gets a road win, evens the series at 2. This game was 96-94. Is that right?
Right.
With Luka at the line with 10 seconds left.
Yep.
And he misses the first of 2 free throws, and they had to start playing the foul game. Listen, nobody's going to shoot 100% from the line, but that was a pretty key moment. And Luka is in that top tier of league superstars. And the truth is, there wasn't much else about his game last night that made you go, wow, what a night. He stunk. Kyrie Irving stunk. PJ Washington hit a bunch of threes, but he also missed a bunch of threes, which he hadn't been doing before. It was just a really inefficient offensive night, which, I mean, when you scored 96 points, there's probably a reason why. But more importantly, it was an inefficient second half because the first half the first quarter really felt like Dallas was going to run away and hide in this thing.
They ground the game to a halt. They lost that game the moment they decided to let Luka do Luka things. And Luka started doing a lot of Luka things in the fourth quarter. And a lot of those Luka things were good, but he just sucks the air out of the room. And he sucked every bit of energy off of the Mavericks because he would dribble up, a couple of 3 dribbles, take a fadeaway 3. Sometimes it would go in. Yeah, he kept them close, but that's not how they won the previous 2 games. They tried to get Kyrie involved, and Kyrie did his best to get going, but he was never given the space. That loss fell squarely on Luka last night. The rest of the dudes did as much as they could given the room they were in, and that's enough about the Mavericks. The last night was about Oklahoma City, and we saw the birth last night, the birth of a champion. It's going to happen. You don't do that there in that circumstance when all was lost and they had every excuse. They played bad.
They rolled over at halftime. I wouldn't have blamed them.
I wouldn't have. You had a hell of a year. You went from worst to first, baby. Literally. And here you sit, and they could have folded, and they didn't. And in prep, as we were getting ready for this, we're trying to find how they did. And I was thinking Shea and this and that. But at the end of the day, AJ, I think you hit it in prep. Chet Holmgren. That dude, that number 1 overall a year ago, won that game last night. Now, Shea gets the glory.
Yeah, sure.
But Chet,
he had the volume.
Plays.
34 points is 34 points. But Chet Holmgren, I thought this was one of those games where it's like, man, this dude is really starting to come into it.
Mhm.
And I always look at guys like him, and I don't think he could be the best guy on a winning team. But because Shea is there, like they lucked into that. Even though he's the number one pick, I think he's comfortable playing, number two. And the game, just everything that he did last night felt like he's really starting to get it. Like he knows when to shoot, he knows when to pass. He's an excellent rebounder. And man, I don't know, I think he had 4 or 5 shot blocks, was just all over it defensively. And I worried that I knew he was a good shot blocker. I knew he was quick-footed, but I didn't know if he had the bulk, because unlike Wemby, when they drafted him, they're essentially asking him to play center.
Right.
And that's a big ask of a guy who's built, who weighs like 190 something pounds, which is still crazy to think about. That's a real number. But to me, I think the sky's the limit for this guy. He's only going to get better, especially as he adds more weight. He's going to keep getting better, and he's a perfect fit for this team. And he's come around a lot faster than I thought he would.
And can I remind everybody, in a head-to-head comparison, Wemby was far ahead of that. So what you're seeing from Chet, while it is remarkably good, the expectations for Wemby is to do at least that very soon.
But there's a reason why Wemby won 22 games and the Thunder are, 2 games from the Western Conference Finals. And it's because Chet Holmgren's allowed to develop at his own pace, because the workload's not all on him.
Right. And he got a year to just do it by himself on top of that.
And I mean, I shouldn't say it like that, because it's not just, there's just significantly more talent on this roster than there is on the Spurs roster outside of the top end,
And that's why I think Spurs keep mentioning them as their process goal, to be able to acquire that much talent. And they just keep coming at you. When Dort is hitting threes like that, and Jalen is making steals and making defensive plays, you're not going to beat that team. And Dallas allowed all of that to happen. They had that game at home, and Luka sucked the very life out of the building and that team.
Luka, his game, and I always hated to say this, but his game reminds me a lot of James Harden when James Harden was in Houston, where I'm going to stand at the top of the of the key, and I'm going to dribble, and then I'm going to make a decision on if I'm going to drive and try and get a layup and get fouled, or I'm going to chuck a 3 at the end. And it never worked in the playoffs.
Now, it's
hard to run a team like that in the playoffs? You can win a lot of regular season games. Right. You can put up a lot of points and win a scoring title, and you can do all these things, but like actually winning in the playoffs, it's very difficult to do.
And the problem with this is, I think Luka on his own can go into Oklahoma City and win a game. And what he did yesterday is what you do on the road. You suck the life out of the building and you take it. Well, he sucked the life out of the building, but it was your building, not theirs. He sucked it out of everything they had in the first game, in game 1 of their win up there. And it was a scar that I'm not sure you're going to get over if you're a Maverick, sitting and watching him dribble that game away.
Well, we'll talk more about that game later on in the program. We're going to hit a break. When we come back, we're going to get into the Cavs-Celtics game 4, the only series that is a 3-1 series, but I think it was more of a fight than the Celtics thought they had on their hands, especially given the Cavs were quite shorthanded. We'll talk about that on the other side. It is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on the Blitz, the NBA playoffs beginning to heat up. We're going to react to everything that happened last night.
Plus, the Cowboys coordinators and position coaches are talking today. We'll talk about what Mike Zimmer had to say with Shereen Williams from Pro Football Talk when she joined us at 5:15. And 4 chances to get qualified to win 3-day wristbands to the ACL Music Festival Weekend Tour.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Trane Heating and Cooling Systems are tested, retested, engineered, and re-engineered to keep up with you. We run together. Visit traininfo.com to find your local independent train dealer. Traininfo.com. It's hard to stop a train. Play ball! Missions fans, get ready to swing in action tonight at Wolf Stadium. It's AARP $2 Tuesday presented by 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Gates open at 5. First pitch at 6:05. Go to samissions.com for tickets.
My son loves to fly kites, but my active psoriatic arthritis can sometimes hold me back. Now with Skyrizi to treat my skin and joints, I'm ready to go. Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults, helps with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. For those who also have plaque psoriasis, 90% clearer skin is possible with just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, there's nothing like clearer skin and better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi today and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI to learn more.
We're here with Jose of the Gomez Law Firm. Jose, tell us a little about what makes the Gomez Law Firm different from all the other law firms in our area.
You know, we pride ourselves as being an open line of communications. We don't have an automated service. You're not going to ever dial our phone number and get some robot on the other line. You're always going to get a person 24/7. Our principal office is here in San Antonio, and we don't only say principal office because our main office is here. We say it because, again, Mr. Gomez was born and raised here, practicing law here in San Antonio in his community for almost 50 years. There are not many attorneys that can say that. If you've been injured, if you've been involved in an accident, if you've been involved in a car wreck, call the Gomez Law Firm. We've been around for almost 50 years, and we're not going anywhere.
If you have been injured in an accident or hit by a company vehicle, then you need to visit joegomezlaw.com.
And remember, Gomez Law fights.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit revivemenshealth.com.
Hey, this is Greeny. We'll tackle the NFL and dive into the NBA today at 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm AJ Hoffman. He's Rob Thompson. Taking you through your morning. I'm sure there's no traffic out there, so I would say getting you through traffic, but I'm sure there's none.
Don't mind them brake lights. We'll get you where you're going.
Funny, I was on driving in on 35 this morning, and I've gotten down to where, like, I know where the construction zones are. And I got through, there's 2 of them. At least there has been for the last couple of weeks. Right before Eisenhower, which is our exit here. Mm-hmm. Now there's a new one popped up.
Congratulations.
What are
You're
you
now
doing?
officially a San Antonio.
What are you doing? Finish these other 2. Come on, man.
No, that's the idea. Once we get this place finished, it's going to be nice.
Like, they have one dude working at every construction site in the city. Now they've got a bunch of cones and flashing lights. There's only one dude working each project. It drives me crazy. Boston Celtics get a 109-102 road win at the Cavaliers last night. That is not really a surprise. Maybe the surprise was that the Cavs only lost by 7 because there was no Donovan Mitchell. the hope that Jarrett Allen was going to come back, that didn't work out. So it was a skeleton crew, really, for the Cleveland Cavaliers. And Evan Mobley kind of gave them a Darius Garland, God bless him. He put up some numbers, but I would venture to say it wasn't his best effort. There was a lot of shots attempted, and some of them went in. Let's just say that. 12 of 27 shooting, but he does walk out with 30 points. I thought Evan Mobley was kind of the guy that kept them in this game. And he's a guy who, considering he was such a high draft pick, is kind of flown under the radar. And maybe a lot of it is you've got a Donovan Mitchell led team, and Jarrett Allen is
he got out from underneath Jarrett.
But Mobley is an elite defensive guy, a great rebounder, and he had a really good game yesterday. He really kind of kept them in it. The truth is, it was too much in the early going. And had you told me, and I ended up not wagering on, I was going to bet the Cavs, and I ended up betting on the Thunder. And you talk about the feeling that I had in the first quarter. I was like, oh, in the first quarter of the Cavs Celtics game, I said, oh, thank God I didn't bet on the Cavs.
I took them, baby. That last shot mattered. I had them at 8.
They were getting wrecked. And by the end of it, they covered. Then the OKC game starts, and I've got plus 1.5. And by the end of the first quarter, I'm like, well, that money's gone.
Well,
and lo and behold, a miracle occurs, and they come back and win the game outright. But yeah, had you told me, here's the thing: when we did the daily lines yesterday, we talked about that number at 8, and I'm guessing
that was with Donovan.
That's when you played it. Mm-hmm. It got up to 11.5, 12 in some spots once it was announced that Donovan Mitchell was out. So, I mean, I would have felt like I was in a terrible spot sitting there with plus 8 without their best player. And
well, the problem with the Celtics is you've seen Snatch. The Celtics are Brad Pitt in that movie. They got to get punched in the face. They're not worth a crap until they get, horse kicked. But they let it get away from them at home. They let Cleveland kind of hang around. But let's give some credit to Jason Tatum. He's a dookie and he's soft. Yes. But when he's on, he's as pretty a player, as good a player as there is. And last night, he and Brown were exactly what Boston planned on when they're going to pay these dudes $100 million.
At least they were in the first half.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. When those two dudes were on like that, it was a glorious thing to watch.
I will say Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum combining for 9 turnovers, probably not ideal.
Well, there you go.
That's I'll say this because we've given him some love in the last week or two, but this was not a great Derek White game.
No.
In fact, it was a borderline disaster for him. So still did his rebounding, but just could not find the bottom of the basket last night.
I want an existential question regarding Cleveland. Without Donovan, and without Jarrett Allen, you could kind of see
they're not supposed to be a playoff team.
No, but you could also at the same time see once Darius Garland was given some opportunities, and once Evan Mobley was given a little bit of opportunity, that those two stepped into the void. Now they couldn't do it constantly, and I'm not saying that they're imminent replacements, but if I'm Cleveland and I see what we managed to do, and I know Donovan Mitchell is everything. And I don't expect Cleveland to be able to shoot like that all the time. But this team was not bad without Mitchell. They were not horrible.
What I think they did, and I think what ended up costing them the game, was they felt like without Mitchell on the floor, that shooting the 3 was their best chance to.
And it worked for them.
Well, did it?
Well, I mean, it kept it in them late. This is, keep in mind, they were minus Donovan Mitchell, and Jarrett Allen, and they and home court matters. So not going to take away from that. But if I'm long term thinking about what Cleveland's going to be, because this season is done, they're going to. It's imminent. I'm not sure if I'm not looking around to maybe move one of those two dudes,
to move either Mitchell or Allen.
Well, maybe I should say one of those 4, because you got 4 dudes playing 2 positions.
That's true. Well, I think Garland is more like they still envision him as a true point. I don't know that he is.
Yeah, there's new spots involved, and they ain't gonna change.
But I don't know. They ended up shooting 31% from three last night on 48 attempts. That's a lot of chucking, and
there's some desperate shots late in the fourth that I would discount. But there's not enough there. And if I'm Cleveland, I go, well, I ain't got enough, and I got Donovan Mitchell getting 40 a night, and I'm still getting blown out of this thing. So what do I do?
Karis LeVert, this is one of the ones that jumped out to me. If you said Karis LeVert only on his 2-point attempts, he was 8 of 10 from the field, and you'd think, man, that's a pretty damn good night. But then he was 1 of 8 from 3. It's like when something's working for you and something's not, maybe keep doing the thing that's working for you, so you don't finish with a 9 of 18 line on a night when like everything you wanted around the basket was there. Sometimes you just don't have that stroke, and I think without Donovan Mitchell, they were just like, well, we got to find it.
How hurt must he have been?
Calf strain. As soon as I heard calf strain, I was like, yeah, he's not playing.
Yeah.
I had a good feeling that he was going to miss that. Because they had said doubtful with a calf strain or questionable with a calf strain. And then I was like, well, a lot of guys are questionable. When they said calf strain, I was like, no, he's not going to play. And I don't know if he plays in game 5.
That, and also Jared Allen. How many? I've heard of guys missing games, with a cracked rib or, a lung contusion and all this. He's missed 7 games now with a bruised rib.
It feels excessive. Excessive.
Like, is there more to it, or are you kind of little, I don't want to call him, dude, soft?
I mean, it's a bruised rib.
I get it. I've had one, but 7 games.
It's a lot.
And there is, if it's just a bruised rib, there are pain things in tape. It's not like they've necessarily. I'm not trying to force this cat back in. I was really trying to go down the line that I think there might be more to it than just a bruised rib. I can't imagine. This dude's missed a month.
But you also, I mean, I don't know, when you're a big man, you're banging around in a different kind of way.
I get it.
Yeah, but also when this is your job and it's the playoffs,
they need him.
Man, would have been nice to have him last night. All right, let's hit a break. When we get back, I'm going to ask you, Rob, are there enough babies in the world? Some people think no, and I, for one, don't understand it. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
San Antonio Sports Star.
Spring has sprung and it's full tilt boogie time at GiveMeTheVin.com. I'm a speculator. I'm overpaying for cars because I think they're going to go up even higher from where they are right now. We'll pay off your payoff. We'll pick your stuff up. We'll quote you quick and easy at GiveMeTheVin.com. America's best car buyer.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
George gets justice. In life's most challenging moments, getting the right help matters most if you've been injured. Get George at George Salinas Injury Lawyers. With a track record of success and a dedication to their clients, George gets justice. George Salinas Injury Lawyers is not just a law firm. They're your support system. Get George at George Salinas Injury Lawyers today at 210-225-0909 or visit getgeorge.com. George gets justice. GetGeorge.com.
Get 5 quarts of O'Reilly Full Synthetic Motor Oil and a MicroGuard oil filter for $31.99 at O'Reilly Auto Parts. In-store only. Limit supply.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Check engine light on? Take the guesswork out of your check engine light with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Hey, it's Rob Thompson here for my favorite game app. It is Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy sports app. Heck, I'm just one of 3 million active users. They're the easiest to play. They're the most exciting way to play your daily fantasy sports. And it's unlike other apps. On Prize Picks, it's just you against the numbers. You're a fantasy player. You know when it's more. You know when it's less. Up to 100 times your money according to how you play it. $1,000 on basketball, hockey, and college basketball entries. Today is the time to play. You can turn $10 into big money quick. The biggest moments in professional basketball are happening right now, and it's no fun unless you're playing. Go to Prize Picks right now and remember the code Alamo for your first deposit match of up to $100. That's the code Alamo. Prize Picks fantasy. You're playing already. Go win. Download the Prize Picks app. Use the code Alamo, and up to $100 deposit match is coming. Prize Picks. Pick more. Pick less. It's that easy.
This is the absolute worst time of year to be dealing with joint pain. You can't do the outdoor stuff that you love to do, like golfing, hiking, biking, jogging, playing on the beach. Hey, it's James Pledger with San Antonio Sports Star. Listen, don't go through the summer missing out on life. Call QC Kinetics now and find out how they can use biologics from your own body to give new life to your achy joints, like your knees, hips, back, shoulders. QC's regenerative medicine protocols can restore and repair that damaged tissue with no surgery, no steroids, no drugs, and best of all, no downtime. This is the future of medicine. Tens of thousands of QC Kinetics patients around the country are living their best life this year because they made the call. QC medical professionals are under the direction of Dr. Mitchell Shinecup, who is an orthopedic surgeon who became the future pioneer in regenerative medicine. He knew there had to be a better way. So call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation. 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. 210-571-0318. Locations in Hollywood Park, Westover Hills, and New Braunfels.
Jason Minix here from The Blitz. Guys, are you ready for your next tea time, but you're lacking energy, motivation, maybe gaining weight, just not hitting them like you used to? Or there could be another T to think about. These symptoms could be caused by low testosterone. At Synergenics, their medical providers specialize in personalized testosterone treatment, and they make it quick and easy to get your levels checked. Do it now and feel the difference. At Synergenics, you get your results back on your first visit. Book your appointment online, fixmylowt.com. That's fixmylowt.com.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Morning Huddle. AJ Hoffman, Rob Thompson, joining you on your drive to work. Or, but I don't know where you're going. It's none of my business. None of my business. Maybe you're going to school. Maybe. I don't know.
Check for air tags. Somebody might care.
It could be that. I realized, speaking of tag, I gotta get a toll tag because when I drove to Austin, it's like you quickly notice every town in Texas outside of San Antonio requires some sort of toll pass.
Right. And San Antonians, we are dead set against it. Even if it meant new roads, better roads, faster transportation, we ain't paying. There ain't no privilege for a far left lane. There ain't no privilege to go someplace else. We're all in it together. Good or bad.
You know what? I'm with you on a lot of that. I hate the idea of toll roads. I like the idea of toll lanes. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I really do. And there's some, because that way, if it's important to you,
pay a little extra.
You
but
pay it.
Don't. I completely agree. But the toll road is theft because you always it never goes away.
I'm with you.
And I think that, you talked about coming in today. It is to our detriment that we're a little slow because of that, but at the end of the day, we're not paying any extra and all that. But yeah, going back and forth to Austin, you're gonna need it.
So like 45 in Houston, which is the north-south freeway in Houston, is it's hell. Is really all there is to say. It's one of the worst places in the world, and there is we're talking about, this is like a 10-lane highway. It's a massive road. But there's a lane in the middle, and it's one lane with concrete on both sides. And it in the mornings, it takes you into downtown, and in the evenings, it'll take you out of downtown. And so they cut it off at one point and switch the road.
How much?
So if it's an HOV/toll lane, so if you've got more than one person in the car, it's free. And if you don't, I think it's like $5. But I'll be honest, like sometimes time is money, Rob, as they say. And I'm not saying $5 is nothing. And I know there's people out there. Times are hard. But sometimes if you're saying, do I want to sit in traffic for 45 minutes longer or just get where I'm going and pay $5, I'll just pay the $5. It's nice to have that option is all I'm thinking.
No options here. Unless, no options here. Ever consider buying a mannequin?
No. But when I used to ride my motorcycle, I would always take advantage of the HOV lane. Always.
Is it free for 2 wheels?
Oh, yeah. Yep. Because you're saving gas. That's what that HOV is about.
Stupid motorcycles driving places where they shouldn't be.
They're supposed to be there. What are you talking about? I was never one of the, I'm not a weaver in and out of traffic guy. I just think like it's dangerous enough to ride those things. I'm not going to drive one.
And in California, it's expected.
Yeah.
I mean, those dudes, I was in a car on the 5. See, they say the.
Yeah, the 5. Yeah.
I was on the.
My wife's a West Coaster.
Yeah,
she says the same thing.
On a car on the 5 doing 75. And the driver, Dat Wynn, by the way, former host, sat in this chair. Motorcycle cop rode up and knocked on the window. Just on his motorcycle, knocked on the window. Hey, you're in the wrong lane. 75 miles an hour.
Wow.
That's huge nuts. Anyway, I don't know where
these guys from Chips.
That's what I thought. It wasn't Punch. I was hoping it was, but it wasn't.
The world is at a startling demographic milestone, Rob. Sometime soon, if not already, the global fertility rate will drop below the point needed to keep population constant.
That is a massive thing.
It is. And there's people who are really worried about this. I, for one, am not. I think there's too many people. Like, I'm peopled out. There's a lot of you guys out there. And I'm not saying that, like, we need to, get rid of anybody who's already here, but let's maybe taper back on who we're adding.
Okay. So I'm gonna reply to that.
Okay.
By saying, well, who's going to make your cheap tennis shoes? Who's going to come and be subjugated and build the stuff cheaply so that we can live the life we're accustomed to? That we rely on the third world to procreate the rest of us, because the more modern a society gets, the fewer babies we have.
That is true.
So we rely on the third world to have all the things
to be overpopulated,
to provide the workforce
who will do
for us.
We do customer service for your cell phone company if we don't.
Exactly. I mean, we're going to run into some issues here. It does indeed matter. I need somebody to mow my yard. I'm getting old. I can't. We need some babies.
In high income nations, fertilities fell below replacement in the 1970s and dropped again during the pandemic, and now it's dropping in developing countries. So India, I didn't know this happened. Last year, India surpassed China as the most populous country in the world.
Largest democracy in the world.
But its fertility is now below replacement. And a lot of government leaders see this as a serious problem. They worry about, like shrinking workforces, slowing economic growth, and underfunded pensions. And smaller populations come with it's hard to be a superpower in the global scheme if you're underpopulated. Although my thought would be like, well, if there's less babies in Russia and there's less babies in China and there's less babies in the US, isn't the playing field kind of equal?
Well, no, because if there's less babies, the money that is spent on babies is now spent on bullets.
Yeah.
That's what you have to do if you're a small country. It's guns or butter. So you're either going to make the guns or you're going to grow your population. And the ideal is about a 70-30 kind of mix as you're growing. And once you get equal, we're getting into some deep economics there, but this is not a good sign, especially for a guy my age. I need somebody to pay into Social Security. I got money to be made. Come on, get to work.
We'll be dead before this impacts anything. But yeah, I find it fascinating. Everybody wants more babies. I've had enough. All right. Hour number 2 coming up. Jared Goff got his money. We talked about it yesterday. We'll talk about it here in a minute. It's the Morning Huddle, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This is the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. KTFM Floresville.
You can host the best backyard barbecue. You find a professional on Angie to make your backyard the best around. Connect with skilled professionals to get all your home projects done well. Inside to outside, repairs to renovations. Get started on the Angie app or visit Angie.com today. You can do this when you Angie that.
Injuries happen, and when they do, skip the ER and get to the OrthoNow Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. OrthoNow provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocations, sprains, and strains. Conveniently located in the Quarry area with extended hours Monday through Saturday with on-site x-ray casting and bracing, OrthoNow has everything you need to treat your injury, and best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. Learn more online at TSAOG.com.
Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
Dave Ramsey here from my friends over at Connecticut in San Antonio. Trust me, Connecticut water systems are the best of the best. I personally have one in my home. All those other water softener systems out there are junk in comparison. Connecticut uses less water and runs on kinetic energy. So there's no computer to break, fewer moving parts, and it works only when you need it. It was even voted most efficient water softener in the world by the Water Quality Association. The team at Connecticut San Antonio can test your water, install a system, and provide treatment all without stepping a foot inside your home.
I'm Chris Canepa of Connecticut and San Antonio in the Hill Country. I'll let you try a Connecticut quality water softener for 90 days absolutely free. Call us at 656-PURE, that's 656-7873, or visit us on ConnecticutSA.com.
And tell them Dave Ramsey sent you.
Call 656-PURE, Connecticut.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you. Discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit, hims.com/joy.
Pizza's here. Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy.
San Antonio's Sports Star. San Antonio's Sports Center.
The Oklahoma City Thunder stormed back late to steal Game 4 and tied the series versus the Mavs 100-96. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander scored 34 points in the win. It's a one game away from the Eastern Conference Finals as they beat the Cavs 109-102. No Donovan Mitchell for the Cavaliers meant an easy win for the Celtics.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Hour number 2 of the program. And we talked yesterday, Rob, about Jared Goff, and it seemed like we were well on the way to Jared Goff hitting his payday. And sure enough, just a couple hours later, Jared Goff hits his payday. And boy, was it a big one, as Jared Goff signs a 4-year, $212 million extension, making him the second highest paid quarterback on an annual basis per year, right behind Mr. Joe Burrow.
What do you think when you heard? Because we knew it was coming. But when you heard it, did you go, damn, that's a lot? Or did you go, hey, that's kind of cool?
I mean, you said he's going to hit 50. And in my head, I was like, is he though? Like, again, in 4 years, I'm telling you now, by year 4 of this deal, Jared Goff will be a below replacement level quarterback. Like, he won't be a viable NFL quarterback. I believe that. Jared Goff is not a guy who's going to be Tom Brady and playing, into his 40s. He's only 29, so I guess he's young, but I have a feeling that age 34 Jared Goff's not going to be very good. And Jared Goff's one of these weird case studies where I've seen big chunks of his career where he just wasn't a good football player.
How good does he have to be, though? I mean, that's
to be the second highest paid player in the league.
Well,
I don't know.
Well, that's a whole other standard. We're talking two different things. I mean, he's the best possible quarterback right now for the Detroit Lions.
Yes.
I mean, so how good does he have to be? I mean, they paid Amon-Ra, so he's got his wide receiver. They paid his tackle. And he's a functional quarterback. He won a couple of playoff games, but he's not there to win it. He's just there to help to win it. You know what I mean? He doesn't have to be great.
The Rams tried that with him, and the Rams got to a Super Bowl with Jared Goff and then said, you know what? If we had a quarterback, they're probably right, to be honest. And someone said, like, he excelled with the Rams. Who, I don't know who it was. It was somebody on ESPN here that we've got on in the studio, and when we were pre-show, they were like, yeah, he excelled with the Rams, has excelled with the line. The Rams strapped a first-round pick to his back and said, hey, will you take this guy, and we'll take on your heavy salary of Matt Stafford that you want out of. We'll take that. You just get this guy out of here. Mm-hmm. Obviously, it worked out for the Rams. They won a Super Bowl, but I just don't know, man. I know last season Lions won 2 playoff games, and it's hard to argue that they won that. What they do, won the division for the first time in over 30 years. First time they reached the NFC title game since 1991. They're clearly on the right trajectory. The question is, can Jared Goff get them over the hump? And I said this yesterday, I'll say it again. The day Ben Johnson leaves, and Ben Johnson, I think, is one of the brightest young football minds out there. The day he gets a head coaching job, I think Jared Goff's going to turn back into a pumpkin. And that is why I wouldn't have wanted to pay him 4 years at 53 per.
But you would have. You have to. You had to. I think he let him get off light.
I can't imagine.
I think he probably could have taken more.
Because think about this. Jared Goff just got remember when Joe Burrow signed his deal, it was like a couple weeks after Justin Herbert.
Right. So you had a benchmark. You knew where to go.
And now Jared Goff makes more money than Justin Herbert
and became the benchmark.
Over the next 4 years, who do you envision having more success, Justin Herbert or Jared Goff? Because to me, it's not even, and I don't even know who's going to be playing with Justin Herbert. It might be a bunch of they might have to do tryouts like Vinny Papali with the Eagles, like just random dudes off the street in LA that want to play football. But I still feel like Justin Herbert's going to be better than Jared Goff over the next 4 years.
What happens if we have another Herbert year this year and we're sitting and we're talking about it at this time next year? Are we saying the same things about Herbert? Because at some point you're going to have to do it, bro. At some point, and good, bad, average, whatever you want to say, Goff has done it. 2 playoff wins. He's been to a Super Bowl. Look at his numbers. They're ridiculously good for when the time was when they matter. Red zone efficiency. What is he? 22 and something 8 as a starter. I mean, the numbers justify where he belongs, but no more. I mean, he's getting paid more than he deserves or belong in the grand hierarchy of quarterbackdom, but he's the perfect dude at the perfect place. Detroit handled this perfectly. This is how you're supposed to do things. He earned it. He'll be around for another couple years, and he'll be an albatross before he's gone. But that's how you're supposed to do things.
What you said about Justin Herbert, I disagree with. I mean, you're right. He's got to start winning.
At some point, dude.
But when you look at, to me, QBR is the best quarterback stat there is. It's the most it's like it encompasses everything. And Justin Herbert was 5th in the league in QBR last year. Now, that said, Dak Prescott was 2nd. So what's it get you? But I think it's going to get Dak paid. And when we talk about this, this isn't. We're going to spend more time on golf later on in the show. I'm going to go ahead and tease that at 8:30 we're going to have a deep dive into this, and we're going to discuss how Jared Goff's money now impacts Dak's money. And I want to know. I'm going to ask you, and I'll ask our listeners, what money, what number could you hear Dak Prescott got this, and you'll be pissed off about it? Like, are you kidding me? How are the Cowboys going to stay competitive when we're paying him X? I want to know what that number is. But I get it. This is the NFL now, and this is why there's really 2 paths to success in the NFL anymore. It's either have an all-time historic great quarterback or have a quarterback on their first contract.
That's the only way it works.
It has to be one of those 2 things. And I mean, for the longest time, you can go back in history over the last 20 years, go take a look at how many guys who weren't on a rookie deal won the Super Bowl. And you will find, these are the names you're going to find: Brady, Manning, Mahomes. Everybody else is on their second contract or on their, on their first contract. Like, it's just when Russell Wilson won his first contract, even all the way back to Joe Flacco, famously Joe Flacco bet on himself and won it. But once you start paying these guys such a massive chunk of the salary cap, it's so hard to build or maintain a team around them that they have to be an all-time great to carry a mediocre roster. And Patrick Mahomes has proven to be able to do it. The problem is, to me, if I don't think my guy can do that, I don't want to sign him to a big deal. I look at some of the guys who have signed these recently, and I think, okay, Joe Burrow, I can picture him doing it. Like, I can see Joe Burrow being good enough, because I'm done doubting Joe Burrow. I famously said this on the air, and I'll never live it down probably. But when the year that Joe Burrow won a championship in college, I said, I think LSU could win a title if they had a quarterback. And then Joe Burrow had a Heisman season that was like literally one of the greatest seasons of all time. And I had egg on my face. But Joe Burrow had never shown me anything to that point to make me think he was going to turn into this. He keeps showing me more and more.
Stay healthy.
If he can stay healthy, he's one of the guys. So I don't hate that contract. I think of Josh Allen, and I'm like, Josh Allen can carry a mediocre team And now, eventually, one of them's going to have to get past Patrick Mahomes, and neither one of them have proven that they can do it yet. Well, I guess Burrow did, but then he lost in the Super Bowl. But if you're not one of those guys, what's the point? Why not just grab another lottery ticket and hope that one hits? Like, because you can't possibly, and this goes back to Dak. We know Dak isn't that guy. We know Dak is not going to carry a mediocre roster. Yes, we do.
Well, tell Jerry.
He doesn't care because Jerry doesn't want to be irrelevant. He doesn't want a rebuild, and that's what it takes.
Well, right now, have you ever seen the debt clock where it just keeps spinning?
Yeah.
It should be called the quarterback clock because it's still spinning. And the piper's going to have to be paid. I mean, one way or the other, whether it's going to be subtracted or added, the piper's going to be paid. I just can't figure out what Jerry's going to do as we're at 52 and counting.
I don't know what the limit is. I think they're going to have to create a second cap that's only for quarterbacks. Like, this is your quarterback allowance. This is the rest of your team allowance, because otherwise it's like, I don't know how these teams, they're not going to continue to be competitive. I say that, but then, I mean, Lamar Jackson was in the AFC Championship a year ago after he got paid, and I guess there's and maybe he's one of those guys. I don't know.
No, this is the restrictor plate.
That's a good word for it.
It is.
That's a good term.
It's just to slow the motor down and to slow the engine and protect owners from themselves. It's the restrictor plate of football. I can't see it going away. It's the grand parody.
Chuck asks, thing is, if you don't pay Dak, who are you getting? And that's the same thing that the Detroit Lions are asking themselves. That's the same thing that the Green Bay Packers are looking at Jordan Love with. Like, they're like, are we really going to pay Jordan Love like a top 5 quarterback in the league after he's played 1 year?
Cha-ching.
And they're thinking, well, what's the alternative? But that's what it is. It's like you either have a guy or you don't. I think the worst thing you can do is pay guys that you think are going to be pretty good, but probably not good enough. And that's the Kirk Cousins of the world. That's the Jared Goffs of the world. And unfortunately for Cowboys fans, I think it is the Dak Prescotts of the world. But we see now Jared Goff getting this money just tells you that it's coming for Dak. Dak's going to get, I don't know if he's going to get exactly this, but they're the same age.
It's going to be more. It has to be.
is.
There is no possible way. It will not be less. Or it'll be less.
All right. We're going to hit a break. And when we come back, we're talking a little Spurs. We got some research on what the number 4 and number 8 picks historically have turned into. There's some good and there's some not good. So we'll discuss that on the other side. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Don't sweat a swing and miss thanks to insurance tokens from BetMGM. Add an MLB wager to your bet slip and activate your bet insurance token. If your bet with the token applied doesn't hit, you'll get your stake back in bonus bets up to a specified maximum amount. That's another chance to step up to the plate and bet on the action out there on the diamond. Go to your BetMGM account today to claim your bet insurance token and get your stake back in bonus bets if your MLB wager using the token doesn't win. Only at BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks and official sports betting partner of MLB. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to gamble responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 years of age or older. This U.S. promotional offer is not available in D.C., Mississippi, New York, Nevada, Ontario, or Puerto Rico. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in the U.S. For New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. For Arizona, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. For Massachusetts, call 1-800-327-5050. For Iowa, call 1-800-BETS-OFF. For Puerto Rico, call 1-800-981-0023. For West Virginia, visit www.1800gambler.net. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards are non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire in 7 days. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
Play ball! Missions fans, get ready to swing in action tonight at Wolf Stadium. It's AARP $2 Tuesday presented by 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Gates open at 5. First pitch at 6:05. Go to samissions.com for tickets.
Are you stressing about your IRS tax problems? Have you received notices from the IRS threatening to garnish your wages, levy your bank accounts, or seize your property? You need an ally. Allies Tax Relief has tax attorneys and enrolled agents that are ready to fight for you. They have saved millions for taxpayers just like you. Allies Tax Relief can help put a stop to IRS collections and, most importantly, negotiate your tax debt. Here's Brenda, a happy client of Allies Tax Relief.
I owed the IRS around $57,000, and they're about to start garnishing my paychecks. I heard a commercial on the radio about Ally's tax relief, so I thought I'd give them a call. After a day, they were able to at least stop the garnishments, and after a few months of negotiations, I walked away owing the IRS only $301.
If you owe the IRS, call Allies Tax Relief right now for your free consultation. Call 800-230-5174. 800-230-5174. That's 800-230-5174.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20, a Pfizer vaccine.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine. It can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
Don't let pain keep you from doing the things you love. I'm Dr. Jason Garrett from Arasti. At Arasti, we fix pain fast. Whether you've been living with chronic and nagging pain for years, or if you've recently experienced an injury, our goal is to get you out of pain as quickly as possible. Arasti is completely natural and non-invasive. Plus, Arasti accepts most insurance plans. There's a location near you. Visit Arasti.com. That's AIRROSTI.com. Arasti, we fix pain fast.
Texas weather this time of year means storms, wind, rain, and hail. You know, if you were hit with the recent storms and you think you have roof damage, don't make the situation worse by putting your faith in one of those out-of-town storm chasers. Work with a local roofing company with years of experience. Work with a company whose people live in our area and deal with the same weather we do. That's Stevens Roofing, 210-785-0994. Or you can get them online at stevensroofing.net. Buy local, stay local, trust local with Stevens Roofing.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
You're locked on the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
It's showtime!
Morning Huddle, 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Things you learn in break.
Things you learn in break. All right, we talked yesterday about the Spurs and where they're sitting in the draft with the number 4 and the number 8 pick, and looked at the history of those two slots and going back 20 years just to see how many hits and misses there were. And I'll be honest, this 8 pick, there ain't a lot of success stories coming out of the number 8 slot in the draft. In fact, most of these guys aren't even like, I don't know if any of them had like, I don't know if there's an all-star. Oh, I see one that I know has been an all-star. Actually, I don't know if he's been an all-star. I know he's been a solid player for a long time. We'll go through this list and you tell me if you can get this guy with the 8th pick in the draft. And I know you're a basketball historian, so you're going to remember all these guys. If you'd be happy if the result is X. With the 8th pick, are you happy if Jarris Walker's the result?
No, unfortunately, although I like Jarris. No.
Dyson Daniels.
Nope.
Franz Wagner is an interesting one.
Franz,
I still think he's got more potential than he's shown. I just think he was going to be a long-term project, and I think he's going to be good.
He's second best player on that Magic team.
Yeah, there's something to that. Obi Toppin.
He's
borderline,
the
right?
Mendoza line.
I think you might be right. Like if you're worse than Obi Toppin, boy, that's a disaster.
Speaking of
Jackson Hayes,
disaster.
Boy, had all the athletic tools in the world, couldn't play. Colin Sexton.
We're 6 years into this, and you keep wanting to say the jury's out, but no,
I don't think the jury's out anymore.
Young Bull has now become middle-aged bull, and there hasn't been any improvement.
How do you say Frank's last name?
Kalina.
I'm never going to get that one right.
And you don't need to.
Yeah, the answer is no. Marquez Chris, Stanley Johnson, Nick Stauskas, Contavious Caldwell Pope.
Right there at the Mendoza. But
I think you'd take it.
Yeah.
You wouldn't feel like you hit a home run, but you'd take it. Terrence Ross.
No, dunk contests don't count for much. Nope.
Brandon Knight.
Nope.
Al-Farouq Amino.
Nope.
Jordan Hill.
Nope.
Joe Alexander.
If he can get off work.
Brandon Wright. Boy, he was supposed to be way better too, wasn't he? Rudy Gay, you'll take.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
That Rudy Gay was a guy I was thinking, man, he's probably the best of the bunch.
Professional bucket getter.
Yeah.
Rudy Gay.
And that's a solid one.
It's unfortunate here because while the 8 has been a whiff most of the time, 9, 10, and 11 have had better picks come out of it. So it's not like there's not talent there. And I think you're right at that line where you start going, you've left where is his ceiling? And you're trying to figure out what floor they're standing on. And right when you get to 8 and you're starting to figure out what floor they're on, you're starting to look at bit parts, bit players, and, side pieces instead of true players. And that's the problem with this. And that's why I love to look forward when we start talking about this Trae Young thing, because Atlanta and the Spurs are inexorably mixed for the next several years with pick swaps and trades and all that. And we're talking about 8s being whiffs most of the time, and doesn't mean they won't use it, but that also means it is a movable piece as we move forward here.
We did the same thing with the number 4 pick.
Now, this is where you can get some money. There better be a starter if the Spurs do it right. There better be a starter come out of this within 2 years.
And I was surprised. I figured it with the 4th pick, there'd probably, in the last 20 years, I figured there'd be 4 or 5 guys that I could say, like, those are franchise players. That's a guy that a franchise was able to build around and make that dude. And I went through this list, and you might disagree with me. I found 2, and neither one of them are recent. But we'll see what you think. And there's one guy that is maybe borderline, but I think the jury's still out. Amen Thompson from the Rockets last year. I think we don't really know, but I think
I'd take him.
Promising start.
I have no problem with him at Houston. He's a young kid, and he played like a young kid. But there's a lot there, man.
I think there is. I mean, I certainly don't think that he's like you can build your franchise around him guy, but I think he's a nice piece. Keegan Murray's interesting.
He's a stud.
Is he going to be
what he did at Sacramento?
Is he going to be
year?
like the franchise player
he
there?
Is. I don't know if he's franchise, and I'm not. My bar's a little bit lower than yours. I'm not looking for a franchise. I'm just looking for a starter and a piece that will help Wemby. But I'm talking about a legitimate starter who would play into All-Star. But franchise. Keegan Murray is exactly the kind of guy that the Spurs better find.
I mean, that'd be nice. Yeah. Scotty Barnes, who won Rookie of the Year, has been an All-Star. He's done well. Patrick Williams with the Raptors.
Hard to argue. I mean, these are number 4 guys, and he's been a bit of a letdown, but he's right there.
DeAndre Hunter with the Hawks.
I think there's still something there, even though we haven't seen much. But I think he's a whiff. As we sit right now.
He's one of those guys who I knew the defense was going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
The question was, will the rest of the game come along? And I don't think it has.
A little undersized.
Yeah. And being a great defender when you're a little undersized is more difficult. Now here's a great defender, Jaren Jackson. I think we can agree
that would be a nice
solid.
pick,
yeah. Josh Jackson, Phoenix.
They thought he was going to be much more, but no.
Dragon Bender, Phoenix. So 2 whiffs in a row by Phoenix. Kristaps Porzingis.
At number 4, he's had a long and good NBA career.
He's never. I mean, he's such an interesting player, but I don't know. I mean, I guess if you got him with the 4th pick, you'd be happy.
I think he's above the Mendoza line for a 4, but right there.
But you didn't hit a home run.
No, far from it.
Aaron Gordon.
Win. That's a good one. I'll take it.
Although he's finally figuring it out somewhere else. Cody Zeller is a loss. Deion Waiters. Not a. Tristan Thompson. Still in the league. Did you know that?
I didn't. Honestly, I didn't. I don't know how, of all of the Kardashian casualties, of all of them, He's the one that's
He
still
made it.
hanging on, baby.
Wesley Johnson.
Nope.
Tyreek Evans.
Oh, he could play for a moment, but no.
Yeah, quick burst, but never quite got
Rookie
it.
of the year, though.
This one, Russell Westbrook, that was a home run. And whatever you think of Russ, and Russ isn't my favorite player, but if you could find a guy like Russ with the 4th pick in the draft, you've hit the home run of home runs. In fact, and I won't call this the home run of home runs, but if you can find Mike Conley with the 4th pick, I think you're probably happy. A guy who can D up for you for the next 10 years and be that stopper.
He's cursed, though.
Maybe so.
He's cursed.
Tyrus Thomas. Boy, he's
one of those dudes.
We talk about Jackson Hayes. Yeah. Like, man, had every tool you could imagine, just couldn't put it together. 2005, Chris Paul. That's the other one. Chris Paul and Russell Westbrook were the two that I'm like, yeah. Those are like the biggest home runs you can hit with that pick.
By this list, it'll be hard for the Spurs to screw it up. By this list, at number 4, unless you monumentally screw the pooch. This is about
unless you draft Cody Zeller.
Right. This is about an 80% success rate. It really is. And this is a bunch of idiotic general managers that have made these picks, whether they meant to make them or they fell ass backwards into it. So the Spurs, you better get this number 4 right.
So you go from an 80% hit rate with the 4th to about 20 with the 8th. And even that's being kind of generous. That's like saying like Franz Wagner's a hit, and we're not even sure KCP's a hit. And these are rotation players. They're good to have.
And there's nothing wrong with that. But you better draft a start. The guy has to contribute and play a role, not immediately, but by year 2, the dude better be in there, or it's a mistake. It's a ruined pick.
Yeah, I agree. And that's why I tend to think even more with the 8th pick. I like the idea with the 4th pick of getting someone who can help you now. And that's why you've heard me say Donovan Klingen's name a lot. I'm not going to fall out of love with that until they don't take him. But the idea of pairing him and Wemby next to each other is just fascinating to me. With the 8th pick, I'm taking a project. Whoever I think has the most upside, whether he be a Euro or a freshman who, hasn't quite figured it out in college, but looks like he could get Stephon Castle would be like the dream world. But maybe even like a Jacoby Walter or something like that. Somebody who's got
that's why these
some upside
are whiffs. That's why you're a 20% hit rate.
But you're rolling the dice.
If you understand that and your team is in a position to do that. But most of the time, if you're at 8, you're in the lottery for a reason.
What I don't want to do is use that 4th pick on maybe he could turn into something guy. Like that guy has to be a guy. He's got to be a dude for you. If and when the Spurs get back into the playoffs and start winning playoff series, the 4th pick in this draft is going to be a big part of why.
Better be.
He has to.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Otherwise, you're setting yourself back. And the whole idea of this this Thunder process, it makes it a lot more difficult. If you can't hit on your picks, you can't follow the Thunder mold. The Thunder just got, to be quite honest, they got lucky on some things.
They did. They had to trade for a 12 pick that turned into an all-star.
Yeah. Doesn't always work that way. So, but you got to be lucky as well as good. All right. When we come back, we're going to get back into that Thunder Mavs series and talk about what the ceiling is for the Luka-led Mavericks, and if it's enough. Like, is the way they're playing enough? We're also going to give you an opportunity to win some ACL tickets. We haven't done that yet today. It's time. All that on the other side and so much more coming up on the Morning Huddle. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on The Blitz, the NBA playoffs beginning to heat up. We're going to react to everything that happened last night.
Plus, the Cowboys coordinators and position coaches are talking today. We'll talk about what Mike Zimmer had to say with Shireen Williams from Pro Football Talk when she joined us at 5:15. And 4 chances to get qualified to win 3-day wristbands to the ACL Music Festival Weekend Tour.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit revivemenshealth.com.
You want another way to add excitement to watching the NBA playoffs? Jason Minix here. Let me tell you about Underdog Fantasy. It is a fan favorite way to play fantasy sports, especially playing the pick'em game, where you pick between 2 and 5 players to build your pick'em entry, and all you have to do is select higher or lower on player stats. If your picks hit, you can win up to 100 times your money. Endless projections to choose from. It is fantasy and it is legal in Texas. So get started by going to the easy-to-use Underdog Fantasy mobile app or go to the website underdogfantasy.com. Sign up with my promo code STAR and Underdog will give you a mystery special pick to use on your first pick'em entry and a deposit offer. Must be over 18 and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. Again, sign up using my promo code STAR at underdogfantasy.com.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Gomez Law Firm has been taking care of the people of San Antonio for almost 50 years, the leader in personal injury law. Jose, tell us a little bit more about what you do.
We do ride-sharing cases, 18-wheeler cases. Obviously, we've done those for very many years. Work injuries. We will be happy to take a look at and see if we can help.
If you have been injured in an accident or hit by a company vehicle, then you need to visit joegomezlaw.com.
We've been around for almost 50 years, and we're not going anywhere.
Call the Gomez Law Firm at 736-4040.
The NFL lives right here. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Back to the playoffs where Dallas Mavericks. I hate to use I hate to use the word choked because
use it.
It feels like it should be reserved for like massive collapses. And this one more, I guess maybe it just felt like more of a slow burn to get to this. But the Mavericks squandered a healthy early lead, and fall to the Thunder 196 in game 4. That series now tied up at 2. And this was one of those games where your best players on their home floor did not give their best performances, with Kyrie and Luka combining to shoot 10 of 31 from the field, 2 of 11 from 3. I don't know. I've been singing some praises of PJ Washington, who's been a real revelation in this in this series, but I don't know that he should be taking 19 shots either, especially when Kyrie's only taking 11. and Luka's taking 20. Like, should PJ be taking 19? I'm not sure. But the truth is, you said this in the first time we brought up this game. This is a Luka loss.
Oh,
and it's more than just. I mean, him being at the free throw, 10 seconds left, and missing the first free throw that's a real kick in the balls. But the whole game was just wasn't good.
You know, it's hard to hold PJ or any of the Mavericks responsible when you get the ball with 2 seconds left on the shot clock and a bailout desperation heave from Luka in the paint, who can't manage to get a shot up after he's dribbled the ball for 7 seconds. You know, yeah, PJ missed some shots, but I'll bet 5 of them were catch and go. I mean, if you look at the time of possession, remember the Klay Thompson stat where he had like 18 points and had the ball in his hand like 0.5 seconds.
Yeah.
Well, Luka is the fundamental difference. I mean, he's the opposite of that. So when you are PJ and you're standing out there waiting, he's dribbling, and finally you get the ball at 22. Yeah, you might miss a few of those.
I think you're like me. Like, this part of this kind of basketball is just not fun to watch.
That was brutal.
And then when it loses, guys like us say, see, this is no good. But it's also pretty important to remember that Luka had like a phenomenal season.
And he's still having a great game. And what he did is appropriate for road games. Road games, go win it, superstar. Home games, I'm feeling a little bit more comfortable. You can let some other dudes run and play. And he just vacuumed up the night, sucked it all up.
I'm curious your thoughts, because Kendrick Perkins said that Luka's been horrible this entire playoffs.
That's a broad word.
I mean, he scored almost 30 a game against the Clippers.
They were in it neck and neck and had run 2 roadies that were spectacular. So I'm not going to say awful. I think inappropriate at times would be a better word.
In the 2 games that they lost in this series, he's been bad. And it's not like it's unfixable. And when you've got a guy like Luka, he's going to have off nights. When you've got a guy who's going to shoot it 20, 25 times a night, there's going to be bad nights. The problem is, last night he didn't give anybody else a chance to pick up his weight. You know, like you brought in Kyrie Irving in for this reason. Like, if Luka's having an off night, someone else has to be able to take over. I mean, that's the only reason you trade for Kyrie. Think about that. They could have Jalen Brunson right now. They could have Jalen Brunson, and they decided, no, we'd rather pay Kyrie. Imagine you had who knows if there's enough basketballs for Jalen Brunson and Luka on the floor at the same time, and maybe being away from Luka is what's made Jalen.
I think Jalen Porzingis became a new guy too once he left Luka,
and maybe Luka being what he is limiting what Kyrie is now.
Guarantee it. There's no question that's what's going on.
And you can say, well, Kyrie played with LeBron. But LeBron, his whole game is all, and you can. I'm not here to convince anybody to like LeBron James. That's not my job. But LeBron's whole thing has been like he generally has made teammates better. Yeah. And he moves the ball. Like, he's not a ball stopping dude like Luka or James Harden or these guys. It's just hard to shine when that's the guys you're playing with.
Well, Kyrie played with LeBron. LeBron didn't play with Kyrie.
That's true.
And Kyrie was a young dude then. This is an entirely different cat right now. He should have been more last night. Some of this does land on Kyrie because there were opportunities. But at the end of the day, what Luka did got them here. And you're going to have to trust in the fact that Luka can continue to do this. This wasn't the end of the world. It's an even series now. It could have been a stranglehold. Now we're just back to square one. I'm not going to say it's over because the Mavericks have obviously found a way to make the Thunder very uncomfortable. They make them play a style of game that Oklahoma City just is late to some things on defense. They just can't find their way. This is a long way from done, but Oklahoma City showed me something last night that I didn't think they had. I just didn't think they would be able to turn the corner late in the fourth, and they did something that will ripple through this team for the next 2 years. As these young kids grow old, they're going to look back at last night going, that's the night we knew. That's the night we knew that we were a conference contender far beyond just hoping.
Guys, San Antonio Sports Star has your 3-day wristbands to ACL Music Festival week. 2. And that's October 11th through the 13th up there in Austin, thus the name Austin City Limits Festival. You listen to our show here, 7:30, 8:30, 9:30 every day, 2:30, 3:30, 4:30, and 5:30 on the Blitz, and you get qualified to win a pair of 3-day wristbands to the show. Draw one win. 3 people register yesterday. And on Friday, we will draw a winner of the 15 who get registered via our little program. So we're going to get 3 more today. And I'm going to ask a little trivia question. This is another Blink 182 trivia question. There is the album after. Now, the big album that they had that kind of really blew them up was Enema of the State. After that album, they released another album that featured songs like The Rock Show and First Date, all that were top 10 on the charts. I want to know the name of that album. You know it, Rob?
I have no idea. I'll be up front. No clue. I'm not a good album name guy anyway.
Well, you'll find out.
I'm going to find out
shortly.
right now. But then again, I don't deserve to win these tickets.
Some people saying trust in Luca. Oh, by the way, I guess I should give out the phone number if you know that. It's 210-656-3776.
That is important.
First person to call in with that answer, well, you will get yourself registered. I don't know. I don't know if you can trust in Luca because
you have to.
When
you
have
have
you?
to.
Yeah, sure.
You
If you're a
got to.
Mavericks fan, you have to. But when have we seen someone who plays with that style win a championship with it?
I'll say this. If anybody can, it's him. If anybody over the last 20 years could do it, it's him because he's built for his body at 6'8". He can go get any shot he wants anytime he wants it. Now, it's whether it takes 8 seconds to get there or 3 seconds is an entirely different problem. But there's nobody in the league other than KD that can just go get a bucket whenever they want it. And those are the only 2 really out there because of their size and strength. They can do it inside and do it out. He's still fully capable. I'm not going to write the obit for the Mavericks right now. What I will say is Oklahoma City now believes more than they ever have that we're better than you, and we can take you out in a bar, in the backyard, wherever you want. We'll beat you. And they didn't think that until about 2 minutes to go in the game last night.
It's funny you say that. You say Luka and KD. I think you might have to add SGA to that list now.
Oh, well, yeah.
He may have earned his way onto it.
Give me a couple more years, and there's several dudes that belong on that list. But if we're talking about long term, I can get it. It's those 2.
And I know the MVP is a regular season award, but like when you hear Shaq say SGA should have won the MVP, it's kind of like, man, maybe he's right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and not that Jokic isn't incredible, he is, but man, it just feels like SGA's flying under the radar still somehow, despite what he's done. You know,
it's a very quiet 30. What is he set a record? What, 4th game over 30 for the Thunder? Something that not since Westbrook or something like that.
Ain't a lot of buzz about it.
And it's not. It's a quiet, effective. But I'll tell you, last night he had a couple of huge shots. They mattered. He's not under the radar anymore. He's not.
I'm with you, but I mean, relative to what he's doing, it feels like all everybody's talking about in these playoffs are Anthony Edwards, Jalen Brunson. Like, I feel like Shea's just kind of doing his thing.
Well, once Brunson is done here in the next couple of days, and we get a couple more days of the Shea Gilgeous, it's just that his flash is such that, and there's still the Chet Walker thing going on.
Holmgren.
Or Chet Walker. Chet Holmgren thing going on. I think he's always going to be the guy that we go, oh, yeah, he's really good.
Yeah.
But you put a ring on, suddenly you get front and center.
And, maybe there's something to that, having a team where you can have a superstar player and he doesn't draw the entire spotlight. I mean, hell, the Spurs know something about that.
They're scary, man. That's as much as the Timberwolves appear to be prepared for the future, at least the near future, Oklahoma City is right there too. And last night just meant so much. The question I will have for Oklahoma City as this season concludes into next year, as they continue their growth and are adding yet another lottery pick, their coach. I'm not discounting his quality and things like that, but I did get a little worried about the direction of the team in the third quarter. I felt like they got a little lost, and I put that in the coaches. But he's got to learn too.
And the coach here in OKC, when we were talking in pre-production, it wouldn't shock either of us if this team outgrows him.
Mhm. Like Doug Collins did with Jordan.
But I think he's a good fit right now.
He
and
is.
It
I mean,
feels
he's
like,
a young guy growing too.
And really, the biggest advantage of this team is that they're all growing up together. All these guys are basically right around the same age. None of them have been in the league for a long time, and they're all coming into their own together. Like,
okay, so we're saying that. We said that about Oklahoma City about 10 years ago.
Yep.
3 dudes growing up together. If we can just hold this ship tight and the future is bright. And it collapsed on them.
For sure. And this may eventually fall apart too. And a lot of that is you can't afford, like, when you get a KD, a James Harden, a Russell Westbrook all on one team, you're never going to be able to afford to keep all 3 of those guys.
Right.
But boy, did they get close before they had to get paid. And
3 years.
We'll see if this OKC team can get over that hump. I think it's possible. They're not favored to do it.
And when they do, and it probably won't be this year. If and when they do, I promise you, they're going to talk about last night. That mattered so much because
it would have been game over had they lost.
Yeah, well, yeah, they had every reason to call it. They were on the road. They weren't playing very well. The refs were letting it become a wrestling match. I mean, it was a brutal basketball game by Western standards. The East Coast, I expected. West Coast, that was a wrestling match in the paint, and they battled through that as well. An impressive win, and one of those notch in your belt signpost. We are a different team today than we were yesterday.
Did we get ourselves a winner? We got one. Who's the winner, Vic? Who do we got? Who's registered?
I actually forgot I entered him in there. I can look it up. Hold on.
Oh, geez. What a guy.
Wow.
The answer is take off your pants and jacket, Rob.
Are you, is that an order or is that
That's the name of the album.
Ah, it was Travis Barker on this one?
He was.
Okay.
Yeah. I think
is that his first?
That was his second. Yep. I think there's a joke in there somewhere. But some childish.
Who would go there?
Yeah. I mean, that's not the kind of show we do. This is a professional broadcast. But yeah, we'll have, if you didn't win, no problem. We'll have another chance to win 8:30 and another chance to win 9:30. And I may, you know what? I'll say this. If we can get up to if we get up to 75 people watching on the YouTube, I'll give the next pair away, or I'll give the next opportunity away on YouTube. How about that?
Are you a giving person by nature?
Well, yeah.
All right.
When I've got stuff to give away, but I want to grow our audience
here.
here.
What I'm saying. Is that enough?
I'd like people to. I mean, well, that's enough for today. Tomorrow, the number is going to go up.
All right.
I'd like people to subscribe to us on YouTube, San Antonio Sports Star. There's a button right there. You can click to subscribe, and if you want, you could even give us a thumbs up.
And we want you to do that every day.
If you like the program, yeah.
And then the subscription, that way you get notifications whenever there's
and
new
if you
cool
don't,
stuff.
If you don't like the show,
keep it to yourself.
You probably will eventually. We're gonna bring you around
like a beer.
Yeah.
It takes the first one, you're like, what is the allure? By the third one, you understand that God does indeed love us.
I have a cousin who, when I was a senior, he was a sophomore. And I took him to his first house party when he was a sophomore. And he was a coddled kid.
Mm-hmm.
Like he and I didn't have a lot in common, but we were always friends. And I took him out, and first thing I did was hand him a beer, and he cracks it open and takes a drink and goes, "Oh, this is terrible." And I said, "You finished that entire 12 ounces, friend. There's no option other than for you to finish that." And then, of course, like 5 minutes later, I'm trying to roll up a blunt, and he's like, "Is that marijuana?"
It's legal here.
Yeah, it's marijuana. No, it was not. Definitely not. I don't know if it was legal anywhere. This is 1998.
No, it wasn't legal anywhere.
Maybe in like Panama, but unfortunately I didn't go to high school in Panama. But yeah, Jamaica, was it legal in Jamaica?
I think it's legal in Jamaica.
Okay. Well, I went to high school in Jamaica. A little known fact.
You should have.
Little known fact, man. But yeah, I'll never forget that. And now, every time I see him, we drink like
the
kind of beers that you and I had the other night. That like you know, most people think, oh, that's not normal beer, and we're drinking that kind of beer now. So it's funny how things change. That first sip of beer, no one ever, and you know, if you ever get and I'm sure this is Texas, most of you guys did this. Your first sip of beer, your first sip of whiskey probably came from your dad, and
they might not have known it, but yeah.
And I remember the first time I ever had whiskey. My dad was a Crown Royal, ma'am, and I said, I'm never going to drink whiskey. This is disgusting. And
I think even the best bourbon whiskey, the first time you have it, you go, why? I don't understand the allure of this at all.
If you're a 12-year-old taking a sip of Pappy Van Winkle, you probably still
I
won't
don't
appreciate it.
This is gasoline. Why would I do this?
But yeah, even though I swore it off back then, I did have a couple pops of bourbon myself last night. So our palates change over time, Rob. We evolve.
We evolve. We grow into something. Like we have a winner, right?
John Aguilar was the winner. Congrats, John. And hopefully, like I said, hopefully we can get the brigade pumped up and give away a pair on there. If not, man, be on the phones. We're giving away we're giving away a chance no matter what. That's 4 out of 15 we've got registered now. So somebody is going to ACL. Somebody who listens to our show is going to ACL at the end of the week, and that's exciting.
We ask what's the number we need for viewers to give away?
75.
75. So if you're in a place where you can go to our YouTube feed, please do that, and you might very well be the recipient.
And I'm setting the bar low for now. Like we did some things on my old show in Houston where we'd say, oh, if we can get the stream up to 1,000, my assistant program director shotgunned a can of Four Loko, a 24-ounce can of Four Loko on the stream. Which is
you're gonna have to find somebody else in this building to do that.
Listen,
I'm not popping the top on something called Four Loko.
We rock paper scissors for things.
I'm well past that, man.
Or we'll get a prize wheel and just go for it.
That might put me in the hospital. What exactly is Four Loko?
It's health food. It's like those green drinks. There's nothing.
It's like Laughing Cow malt liquor.
Nothing but good stuff in there. I think there's kale and like coriander.
Four Loko.
Yeah, it's really healthy stuff.
Yeehaw. Is it like beer?
Boy, I don't know.
If it's like beer, I'll have some.
It's a little bit like beer.
It's like beer, but different.
And but listen, if you shotgun Four Loko, it's going to do things to your body that you're just not prepared for.
Do they have a cool logo? Like if I wanted to wear some of their swag, or would they sponsor us like a little league team?
I don't
liquor?
think so. Four Loko was like at one point banned.
Of course
it was banned. I think if I'm not mistaken, it used to have energy drink in it. Like, so it was like malt liquor mixed with caffeine, and people were dying. Now, when he did it, it didn't have the caffeine when he shotgunned it.
So he had the legal version.
He had the legal version,
the dark web version.
But it is not good. Yeah, we used to drink some terrible things on my show in Houston. We'd spin the wheel, and like we had menthol tobacco flavored vodka. Have you ever heard of such a thing?
I've seen some bottles actually spit in, but no.
This is the vodka.
Why?
It's a great question because I forget what the brand name of this vodka was, but they have like 50 different flavors. And if you get the regular vodka, a regular bottle of this vodka costs about $8.
Oh, okay.
So
good stuff.
It's what I would call the good stuff. Now, if you want one of the flavored models, like let's say you want blueberry vodka.
And who doesn't?
Blueberry vodka sounds delicious, right? That's $10. You want cherry vodka, that's $10. You want watermelon flavored or peach flavored, and that's all fine and good. But there's two flavors that only cost $5. And this is for like a full bottle.
Okay.
Like, there's tobacco and menthol tobacco. And so someone came to this, like to their marketing guy and was like, hey, I've got a plan. Let's take our $8 bottle of vodka. Let's put in this flavoring and charge $3 less for it. And somebody in that business said, you know what? This is a damn fine idea.
I felt like somebody had I got a truckload of vape juice that I can't get rid of.
Let's
Let's
mix it
call
in.
the Four Loco dudes. See if they can put the vape juice into our Four Loco things, and maybe we can two birds with one stone this.
Yeah, I've drinking a lot of vile things in my life. I've drinking a lot of good things, but
Well, you have to go through a couple of
You've
bad
got to
things.
know the bad stuff to appreciate the
I
good
tell
stuff.
my boys.
Is what I think. So, all right, hour number 2 in the books. 2 more to go. Rob, we're at the halfway point, and we got a strong second half coming, I feel.
We're a second half team.
And some things we're gonna talk about in the next hour include barbecue and cocaine use amongst Russian hockey players. All that and more. It is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Did you wake up this morning feeling good about yourself? Did you look in the mirror and say, that's about as good as I've looked in a long time? If you did that, keep it to yourself. If you're like the rest of us, you look in the mirror and you might not be happy with what you see. Maybe you're a little bit overweight. Maybe the doctors are telling you that it's time to lose weight. You're hearing words like hypertension and cholesterol and heart disease and all those things that guys and ladies of a certain age start to dread. If you've reached that point and it's time to lose weight or you're just ready, I want you to call Dr. Jacob Torres at the Institute for Functional Health. He changed my life. 8 years ago, I sweated my way in at 295 pounds and had tried to diet. I walked around sore. My knees hurt from all the weight I was carrying and everything else went along with it. Dr. Torres said, give it a shot. I'll coach you. I'll work with you. But what I'm going to do is something that's never been done for you before. I can tell is I'm going to put together a program that's only for you. We're going to check your history. Of course, we're going to do a complete medical workup. We're going to find out why you're putting on the weight and what are the reasons behind it, both mentally and physically. And we have put that together on a plan that I am still living with 8 years later. Down 75 pounds, weighed 227 yesterday, a new personal best. If it's time for you to lose weight, if you're worried about the future, if you want to see a longer one, I want you to call Dr. Torres today. The number is 210-468-1891. His website is iffhealth.com. Do your due diligence. Go there. Take a couple of the functional health tests. I'll ask some questions that I bet you can't answer, but Dr. Torres can. Call him today. Let him explain to you why he's been so successful. He'll change your life. Let him call him today. Let him happen. And I know you're going to be thanking me later.
On your ride to work, it's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson, KTFM Floresville.
Hi, it's Jason Minix from The Blitz. Did you know your testosterone levels start to decline in your 30s? So if you're feeling a lack of energy and drive, it could be caused by low T. Get your levels tested at Synergenics. They make it quick and easy, and with the convenience of their on-site lab, you'll get your results back at your first visit. At Synergenics, you will get customized care from testosterone specialists. Book your appointment now. Go to fixmylowt.com. That's fixmylowt.com.
Hi, my name is Jason Thompson. I'm an attorney here in San Antonio representing people and families who've been injured in traffic collisions since 1994. The reason it's important to call me as soon as possible is the number of tricks and mistakes you can make, even up to talking to insurance companies, which I'm going to tell you not to do. And also some of the billing practices at our local hospitals. And over the last year, I've seen more and more of this, where hospitals are asking patients to assign benefits they do not have to assign, all in an effort to get more money to the hospital than they would receive if all you used was your health insurance. When you call, I will give you your options. We'll talk about your case. And all of that is free of charge. If you or a family member has been injured in a traffic accident, whether car, commercial truck, motorcycle, I want you to call me as soon as possible after the collision. My number, 210-900-0400. That's 210-900-0400. Or go to my website at alawyer4us.com.
Hey, it's Rob Thompson here for my favorite game app. It is Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy sports app. Heck, I'm just one of 3 million active users. They're the easiest to play. They're the most exciting way to play your daily fantasy sports. And it's unlike other apps. On Prize Picks, it's just you against the numbers. You're a fantasy player. You know when it's more. You know when it's less. Up to 100 times your money according to how you play it. $1,000 on basketball, hockey, and college basketball entries. Today is the time to play. You can turn $10 into big money quick. The biggest moments in professional basketball are happening right now, and it's no fun unless you're playing. Go to Prize Picks right now and remember the code Alamo for your first deposit match of up to $100. That's the code Alamo. Prize Picks fantasy. You're playing already. Go win. Download the Prize Picks app. Use the code Alamo, and up to $100 deposit match is coming. Prize Picks. Pick more. Pick less. It's that easy.
From taking on extra shifts to the years of hard work, the success you've already had matters at University of Maryland Global Campus because we're a school for real life. An accredited state university, UMGC lets you earn up to 90 credits toward a bachelor's for prior learning and life and work experience. Plus, we offer affordable tuition and online and hybrid classes, all with the support you need. Begin your next success soon. Undergraduate classes start June 12th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chef.
When life spells heartburn, how do you spell relief? ROLAIDS.
What about when life spells fried chicken?
ROLAIDS.
Fourth cup of coffee?
Still ROLAIDS.
Extra cheesy pizza?
Rolaids always spells relief. Rolaids' powerful dual-active formula begins neutralizing acid on contact to fight your heartburn fast. So, when life spells heartburn, Rolaids spells relief. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Maybe it's time to ask your checking account. What have you done for me lately? My Advantage Checking from Generations Federal Credit Union does more. My Advantage Checking pays you 2 days early, plus shopping rewards, identity protection, and much more. My Advantage Checking treats you right. So make the switch. Learn more at Generations Federal Credit Union. Member owned, community grown. Member eligibility requirements apply. For complete terms and conditions, visit mygenfcu.org. Federally insured by NCUA.
94.1 FM, San Antonio Sports Star. San Antonio Sports Center.
The Oklahoma City Thunder stormed back late to steal Game 4 and tied the series versus the Mavs 196. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander scored 34 points in the win. The Celtics are 1 game away from the Eastern Conference Finals as they beat the Cavs 109-102. No Donovan Mitchell for the Cavaliers meant an easy win for the Celtics.
SportsCenter is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It is San Antonio Sports Star. It is 8 o'clock, hour number 3 of the Morning Huddle here. And busy day. Talking some playoff hoops, talking some Spurs draft, talking some quarterback pay. And we'll get into all that again as the show goes on. But, Rob, I wanted to talk a little bit of smoked meats. And a list came out from Yelp. And I'm not sure how they put this together, but I think it's from reviews, which this is why some of these won't make sense. And I've got a theory on this. So first of all, how do you feel about, like, there's Kansas City barbecue, Carolina barbecue, Memphis barbecue, and Texas barbecue? They're kind of the big four.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, do you have respect for all? Do you
well, down in Texas we don't do pig unless we're doing ribs.
Mm-hmm.
So I appreciate a good pork butt. I appreciate a good whole pig. I do.
I love whole pig.
But in Texas, you are judged by your brisket first, your sausage second. And that's kind of how I go. I appreciate Kansas City. I like a wet barbecue. I like a good dry rub. I like all that other kind of stuff. But I judge barbecue joints by their brisket and their sausage.
I think the problem with Yelp doing this is it's so regionalized that people don't always know what else is out there in the world.
True.
And I'm not saying any of these places are bad. But I'll give you a good example of this. The number 5 place, and I've dined in 3 of the top 5 on the Yelp board, or on this Yelp list. But number 5 on this list is Fox Smokehouse Barbecue in Boulder City, Nevada. Now, Boulder City, Nevada is where Hoover Dam is. It's a little tourist town. It's one of the only towns in Nevada where there's no casino gaming.
Okay.
Like they are big on keeping it small. They don't want Vegas invading their town. Like they want it's almost like Mayberry. It feels like a throwback town. Like cool little place.
I'm reading their menu, dude.
My son works there in Boulder City. It's a cool town. Fox Barbecue it's the best barbecue joint in town, certainly. But as someone who went around the Vegas Valley in search of good barbecue, now it's probably top 2 or 3 of what I found there, but it's not anything that's gonna like blow your mind. It's good barbecue, but it's not wow, this is it's not should be on the top 5 list nationally. That's crazy. But I don't think in Nevada the people know any better. And I think most of the people who are there are either Nevadans who just haven't had really good barbecue. They're probably the best barbecue they had was in California somewhere. Or it's a bunch of tourists who are in to see the dam. They go in for a meal and think, oh, this is a great meal. Let's, they don't know better. That takes me to number 4 on the list. Tyler's Barbecue in Amarillo, Texas. Tyler's Barbecue is a fine barbecue place. It's good. It was on in 2017 when I did the barbecue tour.
Is this
the Texas Monthly Barbecue Tour? It was on the list, and it was the one you had to go. They had a thing called the Four Corners, where one of the prizes you had to go to a place up in the Panhandle, down in McAllen, in Pecos out west, and then I think it was I forget maybe in I don't know somewhere on the Louisiana border was the Livingston I think it was in the east, and you got a prize for hitting all 4 of those. Tyler's Barbecue in I don't know, let's say 2005 was probably some of the best barbecue you could find. Now it's a fine barbecue place. Like it's good, but it's not wow. But I think up there in the Panhandle,
when it's all you got,
and let me tell you, if from the next closest barbecue place to Amarillo is several hours. Now, the best barbecue place in the Panhandle was in Lubbock, and you're talking okay. Now that's world class barbecue, and I don't know how far Lubbock is exactly from Amarillo.
About 2 hours.
2 hours. Okay. But it's a place called Evie Mae's. And it, to me, was like one of the 5 best plates of barbecue I had when I did the trip around Texas. But Tyler's has been around for a long time. It's a legacy place. It got the love, at least on this Yelp list.
I'm going down this top 100. I've counted 4 different in the top 100 out of Hawaii. So I wonder what style. It's got to be pork, obviously. They're doing pig.
Yeah.
But I wonder what exactly is going on in Hawaii. I had no idea. And I'm looking at menus from all these different restaurants. I can tell. I don't even have to tell you where they're from. When you look at the menu and there's tri-tip on it, that starts about New Mexico and heads west. That's not a thing you see a whole lot in Texas. It's growing this way.
I love tri-tip too.
A tri-tip is phenomenal.
And it's so easy.
And all of that, and that's kind of a West Coast thing with the chimichurri, and it's coming this way. Lots of Texas places, and there's 3 or 4 from Vegas. So it's a foodie town. Certainly, I was surprised to see several there.
But this is why I'm telling you, don't be surprised.
Well, it's worth a go, and I think it's so regional. And you talk about the sauces, like this weekend. I would probably never go to an African-centric barbecue place, but for somebody telling me, "Hey, man, you need to try this leg." I probably would have not ever tried a leg of lamb smoked like that unless somebody tells me, and I won't find out about it unless somebody writes about it on their Yelp page.
But I think when you see, there's 4 Hawaiis, there's 4 Vegases. When people travel, that's what they use is Yelp to find where they want to go, and then they leave their reviews. So I think when these people are going to these travel destinations, they're just giving love. That if nobody's going down to 2M Smokehouse on Yelp, and
if you're a barbecue tourist, Like I would expect your review would be one that, you telling me. And I don't know I don't know how I could tell if you're a barbecue tourist, but
that's the thing. Like, so think about this. Anybody who comes to San Antonio as a tourist, they're like, where are they staying?
Be right downtown.
They're
And they'll end
staying
up,
downtown. They're going to spend their time
gonna go to
around downtown.
Pinkerton's.
It's Alamo. It's Riverwalk. I'm sure Pinkerton's has great Yelp reviews. They're like, if you're coming in as a tourist and you're counting on Uber or whatever, you're not driving down to 2M. And I'll be honest, if you start driving down there, you're going to turn around and be like, no, not worth it.
There was an old joke. I used to drive boats in between gigs, river boats. I was a tour guide. And you have all these people from all over the country, like, where's the best Mexican food I can get? And our first question was, where are you from? Wisconsin. You're like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, just go to this place go to the Riverwalk
Whatever
place.
you get, you're going to think is spectacular. So, yeah, you're not discerning. And I do think that there's something to that in barbecue. There is it doesn't matter. You don't know any better.
But I think these people in these tourist places like Vegas, like Hawaii, they give generous reviews because they're on vacation and they're having a good time and they're spending money. I don't think I think this top 100 list should be taken with a grain of salt.
Now, you asked me what you judge a spot by. What do you judge it by? What's the first thing that you go, okay, respect given because they do this well?
So to me, like if I'm outside of Texas, it's always brisket. Like I want to know, can you do brisket? But I'm with you. I think sausage is pretty important because if you own a barbecue place in Texas, you better be able to do brisket because if you can't, your barbecue place ain't gonna last.
Right.
But sausage is hard, man, because everybody's trying to do now everybody's doing their own grinds and it's, you're making sausage in house and that's hard, dude.
Sauce guy?
With sausage?
With just sauce, period. I mean, because most people will go brisket and then I judge their sauce. Is it peppery? Is it sweet? Is it, that whatever.
If the brisket's good enough, I'll go no sauce.
I don't like sauce most of the time.
Yeah. I like I don't like super vinegary sauces.
See, I do.
I like spicy, the more like tomato-y sauces.
Yeah, I like vinegary. I like some of the low country mustard based. I like some of that Alabama white as well.
I think Rudy's has like the best sauce.
Very peppery. It's a very peppery sauce.
I love that sauce. Good. And say what you will about their barbecue, but,
but it's the sauce that you
that's their sauce is money.
And cream corn.
And cream corn. Yeah. Number 2 on the list, so Corkscrew Barbecue in Spring, Texas.
That's the one I've been to. Corkscrew, legendary.
Incredible place. Maybe the best. They're in the conversation for best brisket in Texas.
Snow's, Corkscrew. There's 2 or 3 others around the state that are always going to be right there.
But there were only two in the top 10 from the state of Texas,
which I found a little aggravating.
Underrepresented.
Yeah,
underrepresented.
As a whole, I bet there's 30 from Texas. But in the top 10, I was a little.
Miller's in Belton was number 14. I've been there. I've not been to Salina for the Tender Smokehouse. That was number 16 on the list. Arlington, Texas, Hurtado Barbecue.
I've heard of it, not been there. Notice no Franklin's.
No Franklin. Let's see. Where else in the top 100? Yeah, there are a lot of Vegas places. Brown's Barbecue in Austin, Texas. I've never been there. I thought I'd been to every good barbecue place in Austin. Apparently I haven't. Micklethwait Craft Meats in Austin it was number 55 on the list. I always tell people if you don't want to wait in line at Franklin,
go around the corner.
Micklethwait's is literally a block away. Their food's fantastic.
They don't give me a beer though.
They don't give you a beer, but I mean you could buy a beer.
That's true, and it's good too.
But you don't have to wait in line, so that's a good it's a good alternative certainly. And then Goldie's Barbecue, it was number 65 in Fort Worth. They were number 1 in the most recent.
I've heard of that. Have you been to Goldie's?
I haven't been. It's on my list, but because it wasn't on the top 50 when I went before. But this year, or I guess 23 was when they did the list. It was number 1 on the list.
They're doing something right.
It's got to be good. Hellberg Barbecue in Waco, never been. That's number 70 on the list. Desert Oak in El Paso was 74. Smoke and Ash is number 83 out of Arlington. The Patriotic Pig, 84 in North Richland Hills, Texas.
Another Dallas.
Dallas, well represented.
And no San Antonio.
No San Antonio. That's the last of the top 100. So no Pinkerton. So maybe I was wrong about them getting good Yelp reviews. They should.
Good. Pinkerton's is good.
Pinkerton's is good.
I think your theory is probably the most correct one.
I've heard people say the Pinkertons here is better than the original one in Houston.
I believe it is.
Okay. I haven't tried it yet.
I can't imagine that. I mean, it is excellent barbecue. Whenever we're talking about Pinkertons, I don't want to degrade what is very, very good, but it is just very, very good. I mean, it's not one of those things where you go, I'm coming back.
Yeah.
Because it's good, but I can find that a lot of places.
I love that 2M. I think it's got like a little, to me, it's got like a good fusion of barbecue with the Mexican flair, the Tex-Mex culture, little sprinkled in. I dig that. All right, we got to hit a break. When we come back, I promised you some cocaine use talk amongst hockey players, and I think maybe this guy's cost his team for the last time. It is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hey, I got a question for you. Do you love your water? Do you look forward to an icy cold glass of tap water, or are you grabbing bottles? If you're grabbing bottles, you need to rethink how the water's getting into your home and what's happening once it's there. If you don't have a Connecticut, you need to seriously consider it, because when we're talking water softeners, filtration, specialty solutions, smart home answers, all combined into one stop at Connecticut. Because people like us that got a Connecticut know we've got the very best. And how often can you say that? And if you want to get the very best, how often can you say free for 90 days? Yeah, you can right now. The Knip has been taking care of me for a long time. They want to take care of you. If you'll call 656-PURE today, they'll come out and put a water softener the quality of Connecticut in your home for 90 days and let you decide for yourself. It's a prove-it deal, of which you'll be just like us in 91 days. You'll be a Connecticut customer for life. They say it, I believe it. It's the last water softener you're ever going to own. Call them today at 656-PURE and find out for yourself. That's a Connecticut water softener. It's voted the most efficient in the world. It doesn't even plug in. It saves you water, saves you salt, saves you time. Go ahead and call 656-PURE right now and thank me later.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on The Blitz, the NBA playoffs beginning to heat up. We're going to react to everything that happened last night.
Plus, the Cowboys coordinators and position coaches are talking today. We'll talk about what Mike Zimmer had to say with Shireen Williams from Pro Football Talk when she joined us at 5:15. And 4 chances to get qualified to win 3-day wristbands to the ACL Music Festival Weekend Tour.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Every so often in medicine, something comes along that is truly revolutionary.
Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup, former orthopedic surgeon, now national medical director at QC Kinetics.
I believe this is one of those things.
Dr. Scheinkup is talking about regenerative medicine, something he's practiced, researched, and written about for nearly 2 decades.
The old ways of dealing with joint pain, such as steroids and surgery, are no longer the best ways.
If you have pain from arthritis or injury, you owe it to yourself to learn more about this exciting option, using your own body's natural power to get lasting relief. And there's no better place to learn than QC Kinetics.
There is no one in this country today with more clinics, more satisfied patients, more advanced protocols, or more experience in using this exciting option to deliver life-changing results.
Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. 210-571-0318.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
If you're looking for $500,000 to $1 million or more of affordable term life insurance, we're Term Provider, experts in finding affordable term life insurance for those that may not be in perfect health. Prostate cancer, heart conditions, high cholesterol, or on prescription medications, you may still qualify for $500,000 to $1 million or more of affordable term life insurance. Call Term Provider at 800-337-4168. 800-337-4168.
Hi, my name is Jason Thompson. I'm an attorney here in San Antonio representing people and families who've been injured in traffic collisions since 1994. The reason it's important to call me as soon as possible is the number of tricks and mistakes you can make, even up to talking to insurance companies, which I'm going to tell you not to do. And also some of the billing practices at our local hospitals. And over the last year, I've seen more and more of this, where hospitals are asking patients to assign benefits they do not have to assign. all in an effort to get more money to the hospital than they would receive if all you used was your health insurance. When you call, I will give you your options. We'll talk about your case. And all of that is free of charge. If you or a family member has been injured in a traffic accident, whether car, commercial truck, motorcycle, I want you to call me as soon as possible after the collision. My number, 210-900-0400. That's 210-900-0400. Or go to my website at alawyerforus.com.
Grand slam, bomb, long ball, dinger. Do you even know what I'm talking about, Nigel?
Croquet.
Nigel, I'm talking about baseball. Courtroom plumbing and air conditioning is a lot like a baseball team.
Should we wear cups, Joe?
When a person has plumbing problems or their air conditioner just isn't cooling right, they can rely on our team to make the big plays. We hit it out of the park every time. Call Quarter Moon Plumbing and Air Conditioning, day or night, 651-5899.
Joe, should I start singing now? Take me out.
License number N16004, TACLA 88589E.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
We're back on the Morning Huddle, 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. The Colorado Avalanche took a whooping last night at the hands of the Dallas Stars. 5-1 was the final. And that wasn't probably wasn't the worst part of their day, because as they were an hour before the start of the game, think about that. They came down and told the Avalanche that 29-year-old forward Valery Nichushkin, easy for me to say, is suspended for at least 6 months without pay and placed in stage 3 of the league's player assistance program. They found that out about an hour before they took the ice in game 4 on last night. Nichushkin has scored 9 goals in 8 playoff games this year. I would argue he is a key contributor to the Colorado Avalanche. And this isn't the first time. This happened last year. He basically missed the last playoff series and they got eliminated. He left in the middle of the first round playoff series against Seattle for personal reasons.
Wink, wink.
Yep. It started after officers responded to a crisis call at the Four Seasons in Seattle before game 3. A 28-year-old woman was in an ambulance when officers arrived, and basically she was wrecked beyond wrecked, too wrecked to get home in a Uber, so she took the ambulance home. And he was just gone. And the assumption is he went into the player assistance program, and he was gone for 2 months earlier this season. And he missed the final 5 games of a playoff loss last year. And I think that they were like, okay, dude, we get it. You're human. You're having troubles. I feel for you. But you got to be a team guy here. It felt like this was sort of a last chance type of thing. And so far, he'd done well. He's a guy who's leading their team in goals. But for him to for this to come down right before game 4, woof. Game 5, Wednesday in Dallas. And the Avalanche didn't look anything like they've looked this entire postseason. They've been a goal scoring just monster. And last night looked lost. They were outshot 16-2 in the first period. I mean, that never happens. 2 shots in a whole period.
Well, their offense disappeared.
Yeah. and they're down 3-1. Their season may be over once again. And if this guy costs them a second playoff series, and it's maybe unfair to say he cost them.
No, I think you can safely say that.
Okay. But, you know, you got 20-something guys you got to be thinking about. It's a tough way for your season to end when one of your best players can't keep his nose clean, for back of a better term.
Good news is we don't hear it very often anymore. I mean, that used to be people my age. You're 57 if you're between 55 and 65, the number of athletes you lost to drugs in the 80s and 90s was ridiculous. I mean, just the numbers, they just kept coming, and the unfulfilled promise of we can go as recent as Josh Hamilton. We can go to Michael Ray Richardson in my day. I mean, of all of these dudes, and I don't know this guy Nikushkin from anybody, but guess what? I never will.
No,
I'm never going to know this cat. And good, like I said, now it's a man bites dog story. It seems like a rather unique thing now. We're used to, man, it was pretty regular. I mean, you're just waiting and you knew the signs were coming. We lost Johnny. That's a pretty recent one. I think we can put that squarely at drugs. I mean, under-talented, but that drugs certainly kind of got in the way. But really,
I mean, Lynn Bias was always like the standard. It kind of showed us like, I mean, you could end up dying from this stuff, and he did. But yeah, there's a lot of careers that are at least stunted, if not just completely. I mean, Dwight Gooden and Darryl Strawberry.
Think of the Mets if they could have held that together, and how remarkable it was that they managed to do what they did.
Yeah.
The Cowboys of the late 90s, man. That was a circus.
Although it didn't feel like any of them really got their careers ruined by it.
Not really.
Although who was the
Tuane ended up dying.
Who's the guy who had got arrested with like a trunk full
that's
of
Nate
weed?
Newton,
Nate
brother.
Good Lord.
You'll see him around the Star, man. He's back in good graces.
Okay, well that's good. But yeah, even the guys who were like John Daly, another guy who's kind of.
I think alcohol derailed it, but I think he did exactly what he wanted to do.
I think you're probably right.
I don't think it kept him from anything that he didn't want to do.
There's a lot of people who will, and I don't know about soccer that much, but I always hear Diego Maradona is like, what he could have been. And then this one sounds crazy because it's just weed, but guys like Ricky Williams and Josh Gordon,
which is so unfortunate,
who, because weed was illegal at the time, their entire careers were at best stunted.
Mm-hmm.
And in Gordon's case, I think just completely taken away. So, I mean, it's unfortunate, but man, these guys, you'd think, hey, I know drugs are cool and all, but here's XX million dollars.
Mm-hmm.
All you got to do is not do those drugs anymore. Boy, you'd have a hard time convincing me I needed to get high if you're going to give me XX million.
Which is proof positive that it is indeed a sickness. It's a poor decision followed by a disease.
So feel bad for this guy. I'm not trying to like besmirch it, but man, bad timing, bro. Like,
dude,
at least lock it up for the playoffs. Give me a break.
They were doing weekend at Bernie's, tried to just keep him propped up. Like, dude, keep him away. Let's somebody mind him all the time. Let's just keep him sober till June, man. Let's just keep him out of the way.
I just imagine them like knocking on his door. Hey, we need a piss test.
Jump out the window. Come back later. I'm doing the dishes.
Me no home. All right, let's hit a break. When we come back, we're going to give away another chance to win ACL tickets. I don't think we're going to hit our number on the YouTube. There's not enough people on YouTube for me to give it away to the brigade, unfortunately.
Left defeats the streak.
So I guess that's a bummer, but we'll try again tomorrow maybe. But I'll have a little bit of trivia for you again and see if we can give away another chance to win those ACL tickets. And then we're going to get more into this golf situation and how it affects Dak Prescott's negotiations. If you're one of these guys who's ready to move on from Dak, I don't think what happened yesterday is good news for you. We'll talk about that. It's 94.1, the San Antonio Sports Star.
A good friend of mine called me yesterday. We're supposed to get together this week. He said, I can't. My back's hurt and I'm stuck. Not going to be able to do anything for a couple of days. I happily sent him over to Arasti, as do most Arasti patients, because Like me, they've dealt with pain in the past and had it fixed by Arasti. Arasti providers are all around San Antonio with one goal in mind. That's to get you out of pain. And they do it in a very unique way because it's not about pills. It's not about surgery. It's about your body fixing itself. And let me tell you, it works. I didn't walk in. I stumbled into an Arasti provider about 5 years ago. I had lower back issues like I had for most of my adult life. And I had the treatment plan in place years before that. Lay on your back for a couple days and maybe you can start staggering around. Well, I walked into Arasti. They gave me a full evaluation. They figured out what the problem was. It was my hamstrings. They fixed that, and the pain went away. Don't let pain keep you from doing things that you love. Arasti fix it. Accept most insurances, and you never need a referral to go see one. So write this number down. It's 1-800-404-6050. The website is Arasti.com. Listen close. Don't let pain keep you from doing things that you need to do or you love. Call them today. I know you're going to thank me later.
94.1.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
Hi, everybody. Scott Innes here. For 25 years, I've been voicing lovable cartoon dogs like Scooby-Doo, Astro. Hey, I love puppies and dogs. And now I get to help pets that need a voice to save their lives. That's where the Puppy Food Bank comes in. The Puppy Food Bank helps pet rescue organizations so they can feed puppies. For just $11 a month, you can save a pet's life. Go to puppyfoodbank.org now and donate, and they'll send you a nice gift. Puppy Food Bank is proudly supported by Thomas J. Henry.
Sherry, what have you done to your hair? What do you mean? Does it not look good? It doesn't look good. It looks freaking amazing. I can't believe how thick and healthy it looks. Oh, I must know your secret. No secret. It's hair volume from New Nordic. Hair volume, huh? Well, it certainly lives up to its name. Your hair has never looked so thick. It is gorgeous. I was so tired of having thin and brittle hair. Ugh, and the shedding. So I figured I'd give hair volume a try. Needless to say, I'm thrilled with the results. Hey, where are you going? I'm going to pick up some hair volume right now. My reunion's next month and I want my hair to look as good as yours.
Hair Volume is the best-selling hair tablet in the world and one of many award-winning natural health products from New Nordic, the #1 supplier of dietary supplements in Scandinavia. Purchase at newnordicusa.com or your local Walgreens, Rite Aid, or CVS. Available as a tablet or delicious gummy. Help your hair look full, voluminous, and beautiful again at newnordicusa.com, Walgreens, Rite Aid, or CVS.
Pack the Dome this Sunday as Puro San Antonio football returns to the Alamo Dome. The playoff push is on for the San Antonio Brahmas as they return home Sunday against the Arlington Renegades. Fun for the entire family. Experience the excitement. Buy your tickets now at theufl.com. Come watch Coach Wade Phillips lead the Brahmas against the Arlington Renegades this Sunday afternoon at 3 in the Alamo Dome. Get your tickets now at theufl.com. That's theufl.com. Vamos Brahmas!
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you. Discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit, hims.com/joy.
Come to Generations Federal Credit Union for a great competitive rate on a home equity loan. Consolidate debt, pay off credit cards, renovate your home, and more. With flexible terms, fixed rates, and minimal closing costs. All with easy applications and fast local decisions. Apply today at Generations Federal Credit Union. Rates and terms subject to approval and may change without notice. Full terms and conditions at mygenfcu.org/homeequity. Equal housing lender.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
.94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. Yep, we're not going to get there on the Brigade bar, so I'm going to have to give it away to a caller.
All right.
And I told Vic I was going to give him the answer before this segment started, and I lied about that. So, in fact, I'm not even sure what question I'm going to ask yet. Actually, I do know what question I'm going to ask. I will say, let's do this. All right. This isn't one of the headliners. This isn't one of the bands that's in the big print, but they're one of the top bands that's not in big print. Foster the People became famous for what hit song? What was their first charted hit? And I'm pretty sure it went to number 1 on the charts. First person to get that, You Are Registered. That's an easy one. Man, I made it so easy for you guys. First one to get that, 210-656-3776. You are registered to win. You're one of 15 people who will be registered to win this week for ACL Fest Week 2 3-day wristbands. So made that one easy for you. They're not all going to be that easy. I tried to make them harder yesterday, and you guys were dumb. So we've got those 3-day wristbands. We're giving away a pair this week and a pair next week, and so is the Blitz also. So we got tons of wristbands to give
ours
away.
Are better.
Ours are better, and you got a better chance of winning them.
Yeah, that and yeah.
Here you've got a 1 in 15 chance this week. They are 1 in 20. That's 1 in 15 is better odds.
Now I have that Foster the People song in my head. Thank you.
And if you don't win, you can always buy it at aclfest.com. I haven't heard any of their newer stuff. Foster the People.
Newer stuff?
I don't know. I'll say this. They were an opening band for, I want to say it was like I forget who I went to go see. It might have been like Liam Gallagher or somebody like that.
All right.
But they opened for him, and they played that song, and not one other song they played sounded anything like that song. But that was the only song
really
that was out.
Maybe so they might have new stuff, but I don't recognize it because it doesn't sound like the only song I know of. Okay.
Yeah. So, but I don't know. If you want to know more about them, go see them at ACL
and win the opportunity.
That's right.
In an hour.
All right, we got ourselves a winner, Vic. Oh, Vic's probably. Are you talking on the phone to the winner? Your mic's not on.
Because
hear you.
I've only got about 15 seconds before I blurt out a lyric.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I must start singing it.
Vic, we got a winner? Okay. Well, you got to. Do we have a winner, Vic?
Yeah, got a winner. Hold on, I'm on the phone with her right now.
Oh,
all right.
Another lady listener?
You better run. You better run faster.
Look at us. And you're right. I mean, people are saying, look at all the people giving it to us in the chat. I would have loved to give it to you guys. I would have loved to give it to the Brigade Bar, but I asked there to be 75 people in there when I did it, and y'all didn't get it. So you got to make quota, friends. You got to make quota. We'll see. I'd love to do it later.
And we're climbing though.
I'd love to do it later. I meant to read one of those comments off the Brigade Bar because it said nice things about me, but I think I lost it. Damn it! Yeah, it was good too. It was like
little pat on the back.
Yeah, it was like, hey, loving the show. Love the way you compliment Rod, and that's what I'm here for, is to compliment Rob's skills. Like I'm just here to. I'm supporting talent.
I saw on the list somebody brought up Black's Barbecue. That's right up there where you're staying. You run over to Black's yet? I'm just saying. I know it's not where it was, but even where it was wasn't the best in town. But I'm not here to denigrate anybody.
Me neither. Listen, if you
can eat Blacks, go to Luling and maybe go across the street. That's
you make a living smoking meat. Good for you.
Yes, you have achieved a goal like what we have.
And as much as I think there's great barbecue in Luling. If I'm going all that way, I'm just going to go to Lockhart anyway and go to that good old city market and get yelled at by some a-hole in the back room. And
is there any other food that people will tour around to try, like a specific thing?
I really don't think so.
People don't travel around Northeast looking for the best pasta.
No.
You know what I mean?
No. Are people going on crab cakes tours when they go to Maryland? I don't think so. I really don't. I think it's, and it happens to be two things that I'm very interested in is beer and barbecue and I think wine. People will go and do it with wine, but it's there's not many things.
What about sandwiches? Is that something that people, not hamburgers? A hamburger is a hamburger. I mean, you can dress it up. I can find that same hamburger in the next town over. Pizza might be the worthy one
because there's so many different varieties and styles. And there's a place in Vegas called Pizza Rock that has whatever kind of pizza you like, different ovens. So they can do like the thin crust where it's like burnt on the edges, or they can do deep dish. They can do Detroit style. They do all those. I think that's a brilliant idea because that way, whatever kind of pizza you like, and if your kids like a different kind, whatever, your wife, whoever, you can get what you want.
I think pizza is the only other one that I would apply that to because I have, in fact, traveled to a city just to go eat a pizza.
I've traveled for pizza.
Yeah, I got it.
All right. I promised we'd get into Jared Goff's money, and he's got a lot of it now. $53 million a year now over the next 4 years. That adds up $212 million over the next 4, and makes him the second highest per year paid quarterback thus player in the league behind Joe Burrow. And it brings me to Dak Prescott. I don't know that Jared Goff is significantly more credentialed than Dak Prescott. I will certainly say that going into this year, Dak Prescott's got more momentum, doesn't he? Certainly the Lions played in the NFC Championship. There's something to be said for that. But from a regular season standpoint, Dak was second in the MVP voting. I think he was second in QBR, had a hell of a season statistically. I don't know that the Cowboys can avoid paying him at least what the Lions just gave Jared Goff. And that means you're remarrying, you're basically renewing your vows with Dak Prescott for, I won't say the full 4 years, but at least the next 3. And everything I've heard since I've been in this market is Cowboys fans don't want that. They're ready to move on from Dak Prescott. I don't think it's going to happen now, Rob.
I think a lot that do, but there's the love for Dak Prescott for what, he's meant, not for what he's done. I don't know how to define this love affair with Dak. I'm with you. I don't think there's anything wrong with Dak, just like I don't think there's anything wrong with Goff, but he's played, his time is done with Dallas. He's played through. Goff's had some success there. He's won a couple of playoff games. They're the same quarterback.
Goff is on his second team.
Yeah. And, when they were talking about Goff and you think, wow, he was traded there for another starting quarterback. I wish there was another NFL team out there that was tired of their quarterback and just let us switch with them. You take on my problem, I'll take yours for a couple of years, because I think Jerry would just like this to be over, but he can't. So it's him being Dak, Jordan Love, and Tua. And it's a race to 60. Who's going to get the $60 million? One of these three is going to get it. One of them will.
If one of them doesn't, Trevor Lawrence will.
I left him off the list.
Yeah, Trevor Lawrence is
for $60 million.
And remember, Trevor Lawrence was the number 1 draft pick. And let's still face it, Trevor Lawrence hasn't lived up to expectations yet. But Trevor Lawrence has shown enough that people will still say, yeah, it's in there. He's got it in him. He's going to get $60 million a year, I bet.
What do you do if you're Jerry? We've, ad nauseum, but the fact remains, Dak Prescott has every bit of leverage here. He controls this because he knows if he walks, if he doesn't get re-signed next year, the cap hit to Jerry would be so detrimental that he can't do that. He also knows that this team probably isn't long for him, and his head coach is just about to be gone too. So it might be best for him to leave as well. So what kind of deal do you drive if you might not even want to be here? You want to get paid. You want to set the marker so that when you do leave, but you don't want to get paid so much that you can't be gotten rid of.
The question becomes and this is what everybody will say is, well, if if not Dak, who's it going to be?
I don't know.
And the real question is, when you talk about, swapping quarterbacks out, who has someone that's of fair or equal value? And the problem is now with Goff and Stafford, both those guys were under contract for a little while. Dak is like an impending free agent. So does somebody want to trade for someone who can just get up and leave at the end of that? You're certainly not going to get a first round pick by trading for someone who could get up and end at the end of the year. They could just walk away. Nobody wants that. So I'm trying to think if there's a possible trade partner out there, and I can't.
Not.
You know who it would have been, but I think it would have been foolish for the Cowboys to do this. But maybe Russell Wilson, like they could have taken that on. But are you going to be happy with that?
No, that's
you're in the same
lateral
boat.
at best for an older dude that might got ego problems. So
yeah,
the Cowboys are screwed. I mean, but it's Jerry that has done it to himself. But what do you do short term? He's going to get signed. But the longer you wait, Jerry, because my expectation is it'll happen on his birthday at training camp. It just seems to be such a Cowboy way to do. Give him a cake and give somebody some money. So you get the sense they're going to wait till August. Well, there's 3 dudes that are going to sign between now and then.
Yeah, and it's just going to get more and more expensive. And let's face it, if Trevor Lawrence gets $60 million or Tua gets $60 million, does then Dak get that?
Yeah, it's next man up. It sounds ridiculous. Don't you wish? You know who has the perfect NFL quarterback contract right now? For me,
yeah,
Baker Mayfield.
Oh yeah,
Baker's got he's getting paid exactly what he's worth. You know who he is. You're not going to put too much on his plate. He ain't going anywhere, and he's happy to be where he is. It's the ideal situation for $20 million less.
Yes, that's ideal. The problem is Baker Mayfield hit rock bottom.
I agree. But that's a sad situation for the league to find itself, or ideal. I can't quite figure out if it's the perfect situation for the league or the worst case situation.
Because I'll give you an example of a guy who, if he does something similar this year, he can get himself a Baker Mayfield deal. Is Sam Darnold? Like Sam Darnold hit rock bottom, and now Sam Darnold's getting another opportunity, and is likely going to be the starter. It seems, in Minnesota. And if he can do anything, much less what Baker Mayfield did, but if he can do anything, make that team competitive, he's going to get himself a nice little deal. And it's not going to be like break the franchise type deal, because we've already seen him fail enough, but he's going to get that. He'll get himself some nice money. The problem is guys like Baker Mayfield, at his best, do we think Baker Mayfield's a Super Bowl winner?
He's capable of it.
I'll
give him that. I think he's capable of doing, if right situation, kind of a golf thing. I don't think he's going to carry you. I don't think he'd get in the way either.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Who was our winner, Vic? I know he had it up there for a while. I think her name was Daly. Daly Salazar. Congratulations, Daly. She has won. I see people.
That's a good name.
I see people on the YouTube complaining. They want to get rewarded. I gave an entryway yesterday on the YouTube. I asked you guys for a simple thing today. A simple thing.
Call a friend. Tell them to log on.
Tell your friends to log on. If I'll give you the same chance, you get up to 75 at 9:30. I'll give it away there.
The way I look at it, you probably have several devices.
Yeah, you got to have a second Google account, I guess, or
yeah,
whatever.
We all have a burner email address.
Oh, do you, KD?
Yeah.
Dax was saying he's been getting a lot of emails complaining about me. Now I know where they're coming from.
I was going to give my email address, but I don't want to do that.
Tom Romson is constantly bitching about me.
Park Knocker 75 hates you.
Tom Robson he hates me. I don't understand it, but yeah, apparently he doesn't. He's like, we got to get AJ out of here. Yeah. Listen, the weird thing about this situation is I understand whatever they decide to do. I understand how difficult it is to hit reset on your franchise. No one likes to do it. But sometimes it's better to realize that what your ceiling is I know it's hard because Dak was let's face it, I mean, he was one of the better players in the league last year. He was one of the better quarterbacks. I just don't know that he's good enough with the roster around him to get there. And that's the big question. And I talked about it earlier in the show. If you're not on your first contract, you've got to be special. And I don't know if he's special. Like that's the thing. I don't know if Dak is special enough to carry a team when he's not on his first contract. In fact, I don't think he is.
60 million special. He ain't that special.
But I also don't think Jared Goff is that special. When Russell Wilson got his money, I didn't think he was that special.
You know, AJ, if they'd have won just one playoff game,
yeah,
just one. If you'd have just squeaked out one playoff game, I firmly believe Dak would have already been signed.
I think
it
you're
would
right.
have been a Goff deal already in place. But yet again, he stubbed his toe. Yet again, he could not get that team passed. And I think Jerry's done.
I always think about last year, and I always think I guess it was like week 16 when they beat the Lions, or the Lions beat themselves.
Yeah.
I always feel like that was a playoff game, and
it was for the Cowboys. It felt that way, and it was treated as such. But very quickly, it was realized that it wasn't. It was just a regular season.
You get to play next week,
right? And the Cowboys were just treating it because they didn't know what to expect, and again, fell flat.
Yeah, I mean, and there, like you said, he doesn't want to franchise him, but I don't think I don't think the Cowboys should give a deal, especially a 4-year deal, before they see what this season brings. And that's why I would think the franchise should be on the table. And the truth is, if you franchise him and he balls out, you're going to have to pay the hell out of him. Like you're going to overpay, but that's okay. Like if he wins a couple playoff games and you can see it coming,
right?
Okay.
And fans would agree with you, Jerry. They wouldn't be upset with you if you did it.
Because if Dak Prescott could get you a Super Bowl, he could be the highest paid quarterback in the league and no one will bat an eye. It's the problem becomes when you're the highest paid quarterback or one of the highest paid quarterbacks in the league and you can't win playoff games at all. It starts to be like, really? That guy? That's who's the top of the heap, huh? All right.
We're at 3 offensive coordinators now, Dak.
Yeah.
3.
I mean,
at some point.
What's funny is that's not even that many. Justin Herbert's on number 3.
I know.
But I don't know that. Just like I would say this for Justin Herbert, I don't think that's Dak's fault that he's on the 3rd one.
Well, I think if he'd have won more, some of those might have stayed.
Yeah.
But it's not Dak's fault intrinsically. But no, he has been inadvertently handled at every step, and it has benefited him every time, even though he wanted to get paid and Jerry wouldn't pay him. And then finally, when he does get paid, he gets paid too much. And then he gets hurt and he's beloved even more. And here we sit, even though Jerry liked him, he's handled it wrong at every juncture where they could have done something with Dak the correct way for long-term help. They did the opposite.
They can't franchise Dak. Does he have a clause or something?
There's something to do with the previous franchises. I don't think you can build in a franchise, no franchise rule.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
So the franchise tag might very well be out. That's a nerd question.
Yeah, I got to look into that more. But they haven't put. I mean, being able to put a franchise on him next year, why wouldn't they be able to? Because they haven't used it on anybody else.
Not yet.
So it would be an option, I would think.
Well,
I don't know. I'll have to look into it.
Yeah,
maybe I'm wrong. But I would think right now anybody could be franchised next season, if not this coming season, but the next one, which that's what they would need, because Dak's under contract for this year.
It expires into this year's.
But I don't know, man. The Cowboys feel like this feels like a damned if you do, damned if you don't type of situation, because I don't think the Cowboys can win a Super Bowl with Dak. And if they try to win one without him, I think they're having to start it.
He has a no franchise, no trade clause in his existing contract, which expires at the end of 25. Because the tag would require a 20% raise over the 55 million cap number.
So you can put a no tag clause. Good for him.
No franchise, no tag.
Good for him. Well, I say good for him. Depending on how this year goes, he might regret it.
Oh, he has all the hand, and he is going to force Jerry into a corner, and it's going to make him 180 million over 3.
And here's one thing I like: when Dak got his second deal, I didn't mind overpaying him because you could see there was some potential there, and he didn't get all the money in the world on his first contract like some of these other quarterbacks
he
did.
didn't.
So I was like, you know what, reward that dude, and maybe he can show you the next level. I just don't know that he's gotten there, and I have a hard time wanting to pay it again. But again, I don't own the Dallas Cowboys, so not my problem. I'm sure somebody will figure it out. All right. We got to talk NBA on TNT or lack thereof. We'll do that next. The Morning Huddle, 94.1, San Antonio's Sports Star.
You're listening to The Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. KTFM, Floresville.
Train heating and cooling systems are tested, retested, engineered, and re-engineered to keep up with you. We run together. Visit traininfo.com to find your local independent Train dealer. Traininfo.com.
Jason Minix here from The Blitz. Guys, are you ready for your next tea time? But you're lacking energy, motivation, maybe gaining weight, just not hitting them like you used to? Or there could be another T to think about. These symptoms could be caused by low testosterone. At Synergenics, their medical providers specialize in personalized testosterone treatment, and they make it quick and easy to get your levels checked. Do it now and feel the difference. At Synergenics, you get your results back on your first visit. Book your appointment online at fixmylowt.com. That's fixmylowt.com.
At University of Maryland Global Campus, we give our students credit where credit is due. Credit for deciding in the middle of rush hour traffic to go back and get their bachelor's and a promotion. Credit for managing 3 kids, 2 dogs, and a full-time job to pursue an MBA. And credit for serving in the military by day so they can study cybersecurity at night. For over 75 years, we've been helping students receive the credit they deserve. With more than 125 degrees and certificates, students at UMGC can use prior learning or relevant experience to earn up to 90 credits toward a bachelor's, and graduate students can transfer up to 12 credits toward their master's. At UMGC, you'll find everything from online to hybrid courses and lifetime career services to scholarship opportunities, making your education journey flexible, fast, and affordable. No application fee if you apply by May 31st. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
We're here with Jose Rios, attorney at the Gomez Law Firm. If you are injured in an accident or hit by a company vehicle, Jose, what's the first thing our listeners should do?
The first thing they should do is pick up the phone, call the Gomez Law Firm, or Google joegomezlaw.com.
Gomez Law has been protecting the people of our community for almost 50 years. They're the leader in personal injury law.
We do ride-sharing cases. We do carbon monoxide cases, 18-wheeler cases. Obviously, we've done those for very many years. Work injuries.
But that's not all your firm does, Jose. Tell us a little more about other cases Gomez Law takes on and wins here in Texas.
Really, anything that involves a personal injury and a third party that is responsible for causing that injury, we will be happy to take a look at and see if we can help.
If you have been injured in an accident or hit by a company vehicle, then you need to visit joegomezlaw.com.
And remember, Gomez Law fights.
At Progressive, we know money can't buy happiness. But money did buy your boat, where you find peace fishing, unlike at home with 3 teenage daughters. Because fish never argue about who stole whose crop top, or get mad the other fish used up all the hot water. No, they just swim around, never embarrassed to be seen with you in public. So save money by bundling your boat or RV insurance with home or auto from Progressive. And buy more happiness, or something close to it. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers, not available in all states.
EasyCater. 100,000 restaurants, one platform. Whether you need food for catered meetings or company events, EasyCater has everything to make food for work, work. Seriously, it's all right here in one place. Coffee, snacks, breakfast, daily employee lunches, you name it. Whether you run a nonprofit or a company with offices nationwide, we've got you covered. Anywhere work happens, EasyCater has everything you need to make food for work, work. Order 24/7 at easycater.com.
94.1 San Antonio's Sports Center.
The Oklahoma City Thunder stormed back late to steal Game 4 and tied the series versus the Mavs 100-96. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander scored 34 points in the win. The Celtics are 1 game away from the Eastern Conference Finals as they beat the Cavs 109-102. No Donovan Mitchell for the Cavaliers meant an easy win for the Celtics.
studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. Boy, I used to talk about Jared Goff, indoor Jared Goff and outdoor Jared Goff, and how indoor Jared Goff deserves all the money in the world. You ask Jared Goff to go play outside, oh, he's just dog water.
And that's like Cousins, daylight and nighttime.
Yep, kind of similar splits. Yeah. His career indoor-outdoor splits. His passer rating drops 10 points. He's got, in 66 games outdoors, 52 interceptions. 43 games indoors, 24 interceptions. His completion percentage drops 5 points outdoors. I mean, he's a mess.
Well, they go to some pretty tough outdoor spots. They're playing outdoors in Chicago. They're playing outdoors in Green Bay. It ain't easy, some of these places.
I think he's got the tiny hands.
Little doll hands.
Yeah.
Creepy little
baby doll hands.
Weird little
Take
hands.
the little one. It's my strong hand. Yeah.
Heebie-jeebies.
Yeah. I think that's Jared Goff for you. He's got a tiny hand. The NBA looks like, and I don't know if it's official yet, but it looks like the NBA on TNT is going away. And I, for one, am kind of bummed by this because I think they do it right, man. It just feels like the ESPN broadcast is so boring that now, and by the way, the reason why is it looks like NBC is the new player in.
Looks like they're going to get the deal.
The new old player. Remember, the NBA used to be on NBC back in the day, and that's fine. But I just think that ESPN's broadcasts are so boring, and that inside the NBA and it's so good with Shaq and Kenny and Chuck and Ernie. I can't imagine. I don't know. I can't imagine this is going to be a good thing for the NBA. Now I know. Listen, TNT is what it is. I don't know what else is on TNT. Like, what would you even watch if you were?
Well, is NBC just getting the Sunday night package? Is that all they're getting, or what? We don't know exactly what the package will include. But what I'd read was they want to do for the NBA what they do for the NFL, the Sunday night basketball in America, and they want and they're going to spend probably more than that one night is worth. I can't imagine if you're going to spend that kind of money, why you wouldn't chase the four. But because ESPN's broadcast is so bad, they're going to chase those dudes too, at least one or two of them. And I think I think Ernie can be had. He's saying he doesn't want to leave TNT. Shaq's got his own thing. Kenny probably go wherever he's asked. But I think that Barkley is going to be chased by a lot of different entities, and it might have very little to do with sports. I think once he becomes a free agent and can go do some things, there's a lot of people
going to be on Fox
Barkley.
News.
I wouldn't shock me. I think that there's some potential out there for him to do a lot of things. But I also know everybody can be bought. And the only guy that you have to make sure you get if you're going to do this is Ernie. The only reason this works is Ernie. You can find three guys that are kind of nice to each other and have opinions and sit them in a room. That doesn't mean it's going to be entertaining TV. Ernie is the ringmaster. You have to get him. And I think if you got him and you only got two of the dudes, I think you could kind of sustain it, but you got to get Ernie first.
I think one of the two dudes has to be Chuck, though.
You feel like it, but I would be worth risking it.
Ernie, Shaq, and Kenny.
I would
think that
risk
works.
it and maybe bring Draymond in. I don't know. But if I'm NBC and if I'm going to spend the billion or whatever it's going to take, I'm going to spend a few extra dollars to go get this other thing. I can't imagine NBC. Well, it's too expensive. I think they're trying, and I think these guys are playing the cards that they're dealt. Like, no, I think I'll stay here unless the offer matches.
Yeah, I'm curious what they. I mean, listen, I know Ernie Johnson says he wants to stay at TNT, but maybe that's just what he's saying. Like, I don't know. I mean, if you lose your job, do you still want to stay there? It seems like no. And I mean, Ernie Johnson, this is the best gig he's ever had and ever will have. Like, they put you in a room with 3 old basketball players. They crack jokes. All you do is crack jokes all day, talk hoops. It's like this guy couldn't have dreamed a better dream job.
And he's also perfect at it. I mean, he has those guys.
Yeah, it's I'm not trying to take anything away from him.
Yeah.
But it's like, what are you going to do that's better? And what are you going to do that you're better at?
Braves baseball. That's the only, I mean, the TNT, what else is he going to do? CNN Sports again?
I mean, I'm sure they've got I'm guessing they've got a baseball. You know, I guess they don't have that. TNT used to have the wrestling. Remember?
That's right. They did.
WCW.
With Gordon Sumner.
Maybe he could have been on that. But I don't know. I don't know what he does. I think we'll see this crew together somewhere. I don't know where, but Bill Simmons is the kind of the one. He hasn't said it out loud, but he's hinted that NBC is a done deal, and it's going to be announced after the playoffs. The assumption is that means the TNT deal goes away.
Is anything like this that we've lost? That you know that never did come back. That we felt like, man, we're going to miss this. I mean, we could talk about like Summerall and Madden, but I'm talking about. I don't remember any early ESPN desk panel show that when it went away, you went, man, we'll never see that again. I'm going to miss this. This is new territory for me.
I think you might be right. Now, when they made those panel shows, they've kept them alive in different iterations, like the Pardon My Take, which I guess is still the same 2 guys that it's always been, but it's, I would say, probably past its prime. The Around the Horn, they changed hosts. Like, people forget that Max Kellerman was the host of that show. No, I don't know. I can't think of
one. In my experience, they're so unique. Now, they have created a monster. I mean, the Manning brothers ain't doing what they're doing if it wasn't for the TNT stuff.
I'll say this. When Dan Patrick and Keith Olbermann, and think what you want about his politics, but their Sports Center shows were like, that was the gold standard. And they tried to cycle in a few other people, and there's never been a pair like that again, I don't think.
And they tried to bring them back together. It never really worked. You know, Olbermann went off and went and did other stuff. And when they put them back together, that real brief, it lost its magic. And this is, I feel like it, unless they keep them together, the magic will be gone. And, you know, quite frankly, I don't give a damn about Shaq and Kenny going back and forth. I really don't.
Yeah.
It's all Chuck.
Doesn't do it for me. So, yeah, I'm curious where they go with this thing. I'd hate to see it go away, but I also I think there's going to have to be some sort of concessions made for them to keep it together.
Everything's for sale, AJ. Everything.
That's true.
I live on that premise.
Okay. That said, if NBC is looking to hire someone, Rob and I will come do the show
for far less.
We'll do the show. I'll make you a deal. I'll do it for half of what Shaq's making.
I'll do it for half of Shaq's making.
Okay, and then you just pay Chuck, and now you got a show.
There we go.
Simple as that.
Yeah.
We're on the air. Yeah, no problem. Yeah. Sometimes people are surprised.
You new here?
They walk in this radio studio. What are we doing? We got to get our light fixed, I think.
Yeah, I think that's the problem.
We'll figure it out. We'll figure things out. But yeah, we're willing to do it for less money. Just put us in there with Barkley, and we'll make it a winner.
I'll tell you this: if the WNBA wants to take off, they're going to need to do the same thing. They're going to have a panel show,
but it can't be
to
Chuck.
Highlight.
It can't be Chuck.
No, it wouldn't be Chuck. We just have to find.
I love a good misogynist joke as much as the next guy, but if you're trying to market to the WNBA crowd,
I'm not sure.
I don't think
that
there's
would
much
look
room
like.
for it.
What would that panel look like? I wonder. What exactly? How would be?
It would be
like Doris and.
I think it would be 2 men and 2 women.
Mm-hmm.
Although, man, 4 seems like a lot. It might be a dude. It might be a man who's like the Ernie Johnson type, and then 2 former players who are, one would be a lady player, one would be a man player. I think that'd be the recipe. I don't know who they are. I don't know who's got any personality.
See, that's just it. And it has to be something equivalent to the WNBA because it's starting tonight, man. This is
maybe Cheryl Miller.
We like Cheryl. We like Cheryl, right?
Yeah. I mean, she's at least not boring.
I think so. But I don't know what kind of weight.
We're not allowed
to
to talk about women's weight. It's just not. This is why
See?
you're not going to be able to host this show.
I was talking gravitas.
Oh, okay.
But, I mean, the gravitas that she could bring, but there's nothing that they're not even close.
Candace Parker's a good idea.
Now,
Someone
Candace
on the
Parker,
chat says.
there we go. We're starting with something. She's now retired. Okay, we have our first member, Candace Parker.
She's hot. Like,
yes,
that's a good move. That's like she's hot by women's basketball standards. Like that, people would. I think dudes would like that. Now you just need to pair her with a funny guy, a funny basketball guy.
AJ Hoffman.
No, I don't know enough about basketball. Maybe it could be you.
No, she's taller than me. I don't
know that you've got the looks for TV.
No, I'm built for radio, baby.
All right, we'll figure somebody out. I don't know who the answer is, but again, I just don't want it to be boring. Like the TNT crew makes me interested in games that I'm not interested in. And there's something to be said for that. As what I consider myself especially until the playoffs, I'm the most casual of casual NBA fans. But I'll watch those guys talk and cut up and shoot the breeze about these games, no matter who's playing.
Working in the business that we work in, and the number of consultants that are behind the scenes, there have been an army of consultants that have been trying to recreate this for years. We have all known that the TNT crew has been great for a decade or 20 years. And it tells you that the only thing that's come out even remotely close to it is the Manning brothers.
Yeah.
And nothing else. And trust me, there have been attempts over and over and over to do it.
Yeah, I'll be honest. If ESPN was smart, they'd start doing what they did. Like, you know how Stephen A. Smith, when he started, was considered a basketball guy, and then they basically forced him to be like a jack of all trades.
Bombastic, yeah.
I think they're going to do that with McAfee. If they keep having success with him, I think you're going to start to see McAfee pop on non-football stuff, and that might include something like an NBA type broadcast.
For the money they're paying him, and consider the history that Disney has had and types with football that have, remember, they brought in Rush Limbaugh to do stuff. The stand-up comedian did a year on Monday Night Football. It wouldn't be crazy.
No,
I can picture
Dennis
Miller. That would not be crazy. And then you add in, I call him His Highness at McAfee because he's only the CEO get more money than him.
Dude, they were like, "Oh, McAfee really screwed up. He went after the wrong guy at ESPN." Except that guy's not at ESPN anymore. Like, McAfee is the big dog there now. And I wouldn't be shocked if they start moving him onto other stuff, which could be. And I'm not saying that's a great idea, but because he's such an entertainer, I think it could work. Like, I hate.
Okay, you brought up something. They brought him on and put him on Game Day. What do you think of him on Game Day? Because the Game Day crew, we could put him close to the TNT crew as far as, those guys been in our living rooms for a long time.
Yeah.
And McAfee brought something. I don't know if I liked it, but he brought something.
I think he brought something too. And I think they're doing that because they're going to get to the point where they have to phase out the coach.
Lee.
I mean, it's rough. And I know they love him, but man, at some point, I always wonder, like, at what point do you take the dog out behind the shed? Like, with a lot of these guys, like Berman is one of these guys doing the home run derby. Like, no one wants to hear Chris Berman do the home run derby anymore. I assure you. Like, can you think of anyone who likes that shtick still?
Because we're already doing it to ourselves. Back. I mean, we're already doing it.
Who's saying, man, I can't wait for the home run derby so I can hear Berman's call? No one thinks that anymore. Who's waiting to hear the jumbled takes from Lee Corso? It's like, do you remember when, and this is sad because I mean, I know they had a stroke, but it was the countdown guy, the New Year's countdown guy, Dick Clark, and it was taking him like 15 seconds to count down from 10. So like the ball had already dropped and he was on 4, and it's like,
yeah, it's painful.
Dick, we listen, you've been on this for a long time. We love you, but I think we gotta give this job to Ryan Seacrest, like every other job in entertainment. we've just got to give it to Ryan Seacrest. Sorry. I mean, at some point, you move on. And if they're thinking about moving on from Corso, adding McAfee is like, it's instant entertainment.
It helps.
It's fire.
I think it was so much so that they turned it too hot too quick. And I think they lost a little bit of it. But what we have to realize is McAfee's here to stay.
Yeah.
Desmond Howard and crew, while we love you, you ain't the future. And I get the sense that there's some transition going on there. And Herbie, that's a crew that we know, but I get the sense that we don't love them the way we like the TNT guys, because they'll poke us in the eye.
There's some people tweeting me. There's some people on the Brigade Bar talking about Pat McAfee, how he's loud, he's annoying.
Yeah.
Guess what?
Yeah.
Apparently that's what people like now.
$100 million tells you it means something.
He's doing it the right way. Whatever he's doing, getting your attention. All right, we're going to hit a break. When we come back, we're going to talk the Spurs, and we got some audio from the Hoop Collective about Trae Young and the possibility of Trae Young coming here to San Antonio. I want to get you Rob's thought and see if he thinks he's a good fit here for the Spurs. We'll do that on the other side. It is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on The Blitz, the NBA playoffs beginning to heat up. We're going to react to everything that happened last night.
Plus, the Cowboys coordinators and position coaches are talking today. We'll talk about what Mike Zimmer had to say with Shireen Williams from Pro Football Talk when she joined us at 5:15. And 4 chances to get qualified to win 3-day wristbands to the ACL Music Festival Weekend Tour.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
GiveMeTheVin.com is America's best car buyer, paying top dollar for your car, truck, sports car, exotic. What are you waiting for? We want to buy your car right now. Find out why. Thousands of satisfied customers across the United States put more money in their pocket by going to GiveMeTheVin.com. I told my buyers, let's get them bought. Right now is the time to go.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Dave Ramsey here. The only water softener I recommend is a quality water softener from Connecticut. It really is the last water softener you'll ever own.
ConnecticutSA.com.
And tell them Dave Ramsey sent you.
Play ball! Missions fans, get ready to swing into action tonight at Wolf Stadium. It's AARP $2 Tuesday presented by 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Gates open at 5. First pitch at 6:05. Go to SAMissions.com for tickets.
For the last 4 decades, San Antonio sports has dared this community to dream big through the transformational power of sport. For 40 years, we've inspired youth to get in the game, motivated San Antonians to live healthy, been a force behind places to play, and hosted events that impact. As we celebrate 40 years of dreaming big, we invite you to dream big along with us. To support our mission, donate today at sanantoniosports.org.
This is the absolute worst time of year to be dealing with joint pain. You can't do the outdoor stuff that you love to do, like golfing, hiking, biking, jogging, playing on the beach. Hey, it's James Pledger with San Antonio Sports Star. Listen, don't go through the summer missing out on life. Call QC Kinetics now and find out how they can use biologics from your own body to give new life to your achy joints, like your knees, hips, back, shoulders. QC's regenerative medicine protocols can restore and repair that damaged tissue with no surgery, no steroids, no drugs, and best of all, no downtime. This is the future of medicine. Tens of thousands of QC Kinetics patients around the country are living their best life this year because they made the call. QC medical professionals are under the direction of Dr. Mitchell Shinecup, who is an orthopedic surgeon who became the future pioneer in regenerative medicine. He knew there had to be a better way. So call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation. 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. 210-571-0318. Locations in Hollywood Park, Westover Hills, and New Braunfels.
From taking on extra shifts to the years of hard work, the success you've already had matters at University of Maryland Global Campus because we're a school for real life. An accredited state university, UMGC lets you earn up to 90 credits toward a bachelor's for prior learning and life and work experience. Plus, we offer affordable tuition and online and hybrid classes, all with the support you need. Begin your next success soon. Undergraduate classes start June 12th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chef.
When life spells heartburn, how do you spell relief? ROLAIDS.
What about when life spells fried chicken?
ROLAIDS.
Fourth cup of coffee?
Still ROLAIDS.
Extra cheesy pizza?
Rolaids always spells relief. Rolaids' powerful dual-active formula begins neutralizing acid on contact to fight your heartburn fast. So, when life spells heartburn, Rolaids spells relief. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Hey, it's Rob Thompson here for my favorite game app. It is Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy sports app. Heck, I'm just one of 3 million active users. They're the easiest to play. They're the most exciting way to play your daily fantasy sports. And it's unlike other apps. On Prize Picks, it's just you against the numbers. You're a fantasy player. You know when it's more. You know when it's less. Up to 100 times your money according to how you play it. $1,000 on basketball, hockey, and college basketball entries. Today is the time to play. You can turn $10 into big money quick. The biggest moments in professional basketball are happening right now. It's not playing. Go to Prize Picks right now and remember the code Alamo for your first deposit match of up to $100. That's the code Alamo. Prize Picks. Fantasy, you're playing already. Go win. Download the Prize Picks app. Use the code Alamo and up to $100 deposit match is coming. Prize Picks. Pick more. Pick less. It's that easy.
Have you gotten your hands on Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds at HEB yet? Southern Recipe small batch offers big, bold flavors like hot honey, spicy dill, and sea salt and cracked black pepper. Bonus, you're going to love the low-carb, high-protein crunch. Turn snack time from ordinary to extraordinary with flavorful pork rinds. Pick up your favorite flavors of Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds at HEB today.
You're listening to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
All right, we are going to talk a little Spurs here on the Morning Huddle, 94.1, San Antonio's sports star. We were talking about the history of the Spurs in the lottery. Not a lot of moving down when they've had lottery picks.
They've had the luck of the draw. The percentages played in their favor. The odds, as I've heard in a movie, were forever in their favor.
When did the lottery start? Like, what year did the NBA draft lottery start?
Use my Google box.
Because you were reading something that said they've had a lottery pick 6 times. Just my quick goat math here says 7. So I wanted to make sure, that we were on the same page. Because I will say this. Man, they have a good hitting percentage on these lottery picks. So we'll let you know here.
84.
Okay, so it would be 7 then. So since they've been picking, or since the lotteries existed, it's even more than that, because in 84 they got Alvin Robertson.
Well, 84, after the 84 coin flip, which was won by the Houston Rockets, the NBA introduced the lottery system. So I guess 85.
85 would have been the first one. Okay. So not Alvin Robertson. So the first time they got a lottery pick would have been 1986.
That sounds like Johnny Dawkins.
Johnny Dawkins. Would you consider that a success?
With.
1987.
That's a hit.
I think that was a hit. David Robinson. Well, they did have another first-round draft pick that year named Greg Anderson.
Cadillac out of University of Houston.
Yeah. Not a success.
He did some federal time. I think he might still be in. I'm not kidding.
Oh, okay.
I think he's in the federal pen, or at least was.
1988. I don't know how many teams were in the lottery in 88, but the Spurs had the 10th pick in the draft.
That turned out well.
Willie Anderson.
And he gave us 10 years of solid service.
Okay. 1989, they had the 3rd pick in the draft out of Arizona. They got a fella named Sean Elliott.
We love him. That was probably the best.
That was a good one.
Big centers.
1997. That one worked out really well. They ended up with a guy named Timothy Duncan, out of Wake Forest University. Apparently turned out to be a hell of a player. Although I've never seen him. Then obviously after that, You go a long time before you had a good draft pick. The next time that the Spurs picked in the lottery, 2020, Devin Vassell out of Florida State with the 11th pick.
Good pick.
2021, Josh Primo.
That is a fireable offense. Anybody involved with that pick should have been fired. They weren't, but they should have been.
Yeah. Was there something they could have gotten besides? Oh, I guess when you look at, they could have gotten Alper and Sengun. That kind of stings. Moses Moody, who's a player. There were some players available there that kept it in their pants. And
we can say, but for that, we got Wemby because we didn't have that guy.
Maybe
playing.
so, yeah.
And all roads lead you to where you are. There's no question about that. But very few franchises can survive that. A cataclysmic waste of a first-round draft.
Yeah. Jeremy Sohan,
jury's out.
Jury's out, but there's whispers in the jury that they're leaning one way, and it ain't the way you'd hope it'd be leaning. And then obviously Wembanyama looks like maybe that was a good pick. But so I guess it's not as high of a success rate as I thought initially when you go all the way back. But and you can't even say with this crew, because with this crew it'd just basically be Wemby, Sohan, and Devin, right?
And
and Primo.
And
ugh.
Who
so it's about 50-50-ish.
And Primo did end up with the Clippers org, and even played in the league a couple of
playing
games.
Now
this
he's
year.
with the Ontario Clippers.
Yeah, and they cut him. He went right back down. So not only was he not mentally capable of coming into it, but
just wasn't that good of a player.
He wasn't that good. It was as big a mistake as anybody's drafted in the top 12.
That's tough. There was some talk on the Hoop Collective about a potential trade and where Trae Young could end up. And this is your boy, Brian Windhorst, talking about this on the Hoop Collective. Bit of a long clip, so stick with us. But here's what he had to say about this.
One of the teams that is possible Trae Young destination is the San Antonio Spurs. San Antonio Spurs are a candidate to make a deal with the Hawks for a number of reasons. They've got cap space. They need a point guard. Trae Young's defensive issues will be more covered up by Victor. And they own a couple of Atlanta Hawks picks going forward, which gives the Hawks incentive to do a deal with them.
They have Atlanta's pick in 25. They have a swap in 26. They have Atlanta's pick in 27, just in case people don't.
They control the next 3 drafts.
All unprotected.
Now
the
they're
DeJounte Murray trade.
Now they're sitting there holding 2 picks in the top 8, which not necessarily that you would trade those 2 picks when Atlanta already has number 1, but now you're bringing in other options that you could do because, now San Antonio wakes up with an extra lottery pick. So I would just point that out. I'm not saying I think anything's going to happen there. I'm just going to point that out.
Do you think that, well, first of all, I hate the idea of, we can bring in this crappy defender because
we've got help behind him.
We can cover that up. I mean, he's still going to be a crappy defender. I like the idea of bringing in somebody who can throw up lobs to Wemby, but I'll be honest, I don't know that Trae Young's at the point in his career where he's willing to be Robin, where he's willing to say, I'm not a superstar, and I'm not. And I fully believe Trae Young should get that mentality. Trae Young is not a superstar in this league. Trae Young is a scorer. He'll score a lot of points in this league if he's the best player on his team, and that team will never do anything. But is he willing to be the de facto second guy? Remember, there was talk about when you pair him with DeJounte, would there be would they be able to play together?
Running him out of town. Well, everything I've heard from the guys in Atlanta is the locker room is DeJounte's. He has wrested control of that team. He couldn't even hold serve with DeJounte. I don't know where this cat's head is, but if you ever needed a sign that maybe you are a Robin and not Batman, was DeJounte Murray showed up and took your spot.
Honestly, I'd rather have DeJounte than
As far as a point guard and some of the things, yes, but Trae Young in the NBA pecking order was considered one of the next. And you
I
are
know.
treated like that until it is literally taken from you. And he showed up and took it from Trae. If you're ever going to have one of those come to Jesus moments, this is it, man.
Right now, he's a 26 point per game guy. If he were, I mean, you wouldn't want him to be a 26 point per game guy on this team.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe. I mean, Wemby's a willing passer. I think whoever comes will get as many opportunities as any Robin has ever gotten. I mean, it's like playing with LeBron. He's more than willing to give you the chance.
I worry about the fit. I worry about the turnovers. I worry about the defense.
It's too soon.
He
man.
doesn't feel like a Popovich player.
No.
And I don't know if the term Popovich player has changed in the last 10 years. Maybe it has.
No. Well, the skill set, yes, it has, AJ. He's looking for different types of dudes than what he's comfortable with. But more than anything else, the thing that has never changed with Pop, if you're going to play for Pop, he says it over and over, get over yourself. Get over yourself. I did it with Tim. I did it with David, and I will do it with you.
Feels like you got to be able to play D too. And I just like, I've never seen Pop put his arms around a guy that was as bad as Trae Young is on defense.
I could teach you to play half-ass defense. And most of the time, you're going to prove defenses want to 80%. If you want to play defense, you can play
but
defense.
But there's also a physicality thing.
I'll teach you how to defend without fouling. But if you'll come to the table and say, I'll do it. I'll do what you tell me. Any coach can make a defender.
All right, we're going to hit a break. When we come back, we're going to give away our last opportunity to win ACL wristbands, and we're going to take a look at the daily lines, take a look at the games that are coming up tonight, see if we can make any money off these bad boys.
Fever.
Well,
make some money on the fever.
I'm making some money the other way, I think. That's what I'm looking to do. We'll talk about that on the other side. It is the Morning Huddle right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 FM.
Hi, it's Jason Minix from The Blitz. Did you know your testosterone levels start to decline in your 30s? So if you're feeling a lack of energy and drive, it could be caused by low T. Get your levels tested at Synergenics. They make it quick and easy, and with the convenience of their on-site lab, you'll get your results back at your first visit. At Synergenics, you will get customized care from testosterone specialists. Book your appointment now. Go to fixmylowt.com. That's fixmylowt.com.
With a true Vegas feel, the Big Blind is the premier poker room in San Antonio, featuring an upscale environment catering to players from all abilities. From high-octane tournaments or lively cash games, the Big Blind has a game for everyone, including blackjack tournaments. From the owners of the Roo Pub and the Angry Elephant, the Big Blind is locally owned and operated, offering daily cash games to daily, weekly, and monthly tournaments. Learn more online at thebigblindsa.com. The Big Blind at 281 and Redland Road.
Okay, it's here. Everyone stay calm. It's Kohl's lowest prices of the season. And when I say low, I mean low. I got my kids jumping beans tees for $3.99. Treated myself to some cute tees and tank tops under $5. And got great finds for our patio, 50% off. Plus, I earned Kohl's cash on all of it. Sounds too good to be true? Well, I guess you'll have to go to Kohl's and find out for yourself. Select styles. Offers in May 15th. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
When your business needs an electrician, for over 35 years, the family-owned Hill Electric has served San Antonio. Powered by relationships with dedicated estimators who analyze the issue, research cost-effective solutions, and clearly communicate the options without charging you a dime. A proven process that allows you to continue focusing on your unique purpose. Call Hill Electric at 210-404-9074. That's 404-9074. Or hill-electric.com.
Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
Is reviewing life insurance on your to-do list? Now's the perfect time to add it. A friend recently told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So I bumped this up on my list and got it done. I called SelectQuote and couldn't believe how easy and affordable life insurance is. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $16 a month. My husband's also 40 and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. Plus, with SelectQuote's same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. Knowing I have this checked off my list feels amazing, but the peace of mind knowing my family is protected feels even better.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-694-1010. That's 1-800-694-1010. Or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. 1-800-694-1010. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency on earth. And if you owe back taxes, the news isn't good. The IRS is raising the interest rate it charges on unpaid taxes, and further rate hikes are expected. Most people don't know it, but the IRS adds interest charges on your tax debt daily. So if you owe the IRS today, you will owe even more tomorrow. And it doesn't stop until you get right with the IRS. The good news is getting right can start with one phone call to Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax relief firm. Optima's tax professionals specialize in the Fresh Start Initiative, a powerful IRS program that can save you thousands if you qualify. In fact, the experts at Optima Tax have resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients. Call now for a free consultation.
Call 800-480-6932. That's 800-480-6932. 800-480-6932.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Hi, this is Joe Reinagle. You're listening to the home of the Texas Rangers, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Last segment of the day for A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. The 7th episode in our history. I was reading something that no one's had as strong of a 7-episode start as we've had.
I think that's a true statement.
Like in the history of radio, we are off to the strongest 7-show start ever. That's pretty strong.
Yep.
ACL Fest week 2, by the way, 3-day wristbands. We're giving them away here all week and all next week. We are registering people to win at the bottom of every hour, 7:30, 8:30, and 9:30. And then on the Blitz at 2:30, 3:30, 4:30, and 5:30, you're going to qualify. And then on Friday, we're going to draw a name. I don't know how we're going to do it. I don't know if we're going to literally draw them out of a hat, what we're going to do, but somebody is going to win those. We're going to have one winner from each show, and they're going to get a pair of 3-day wristbands. And if you don't win, you can always buy your wristbands at aclfest.com, but you'll find that winning them here is cheaper far than buying them.
1 in 15 shot.
Not too bad.
Pretty good.
Not too shabby.
So I've been told.
And it looks like the Brigade Bar did not get up to my number. So once again, I'm going to give this away to a phone caller. It's a damn shame, man.
Are we going to trivialize this?
We're going to trivialize it. This is one of the headliners, one of the big print, one of the big font guys on the on the, I guess the, what do they call that?
Well, like the billboard,
the billboard. Yeah, I guess so. Or like the flyer, the big names on the flyer. I'm going to name a handful of this fella's albums, and all you got to do is tell me the fella's name. His debut album came out in 2013. It was called High Top Mountain. Ooh. And then he had an album called Meta Modern Sounds in Country Music, A Sailor's Guide to Earth, Sound and Fury, Cutting Grass Volume 1, The Butcher Shop Sessions, and Cutting Grass Volume 2, The Cowboy Arms Sessions, and The Ballad of Dude and Juanita. That is his discography. All you got to do is tell me his name, and you are qualified to win, registered to win. You 1 in 15 shot at getting those ACL wristbands. So
Ballad of Dude and Juanita.
That's right. So it's 210-656-3776. All right. We do this every day.
Make some folks some money.
Right around this time, we take a look at what's going on in Las Vegas and where we can make some money. Let's hit the daily lines.
It's the Morning Huddle's look at the daily lines with AJ and Rob on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Thunder did cover.
They
last
did.
night, thankfully. And both dogs covered.
They did. I took some money home with the Cleveland one.
It was a dog day.
You know, as we get started, I want to throw something out there. This is free stuff. I'm gonna give you some free money right now.
Hell yeah!
Prize Picks got a deal going on right now. You know, you pick more, you pick less. The more if you pick 3 together, the odds get better. 4, whatever. Right now they've got Caitlin Clark at a 0.5 for points. So you're gonna automatically get the over on that. If you haven't signed up, go there. Use my code word Alamo. You'll get 1/3 of a 3-leg bet. Freebie. Just go there and it's going on right now. And use Alamo. You'll get some free money to play with too.
Okay. And you wouldn't call it a bet.
It's not a bet. It is a fantasy proposition.
Yes. That's what I would call it. If I were making a bet, I would bet that the Connecticut Sun cover 6.5 points tonight because I would think, and again, this is me knowing I don't have like when in the NFL, I've got power ratings and I know like this is what this team should be like they should be favored by this many. I couldn't name a player on the Connecticut Sun, but I'm telling you right now, Joe Blow, who's walking up to the counter in Vegas, is putting money down on Caitlin Clark plus 6.5. And I want to be on the opposite side of Joe Blow walking up to the betting window in Vegas because Joe Blow is the reason why those casinos exist.
A lot of big, pretty lights over there.
Yep. So just my 2 cents as a non-expert WNBA bettor. I would never make bets across state lines.
No, that's illegal. We don't do stuff like that.
But a friend of mine is certainly going to have money on the Connecticut Sun tonight. I can tell you that. In the NBA, I was surprised at this number. The Pacers are at the Knicks. It feels like the Knicks are melting. It opened up as pick 'em. They said these two teams right now, even with home court advantage, this is a coin flip game. Well, since last night, money's come in on the New York Knicks, and they are now 2-point favorites in Game 5. Does the collapse stop? Like, are they going to recover? Is OG playing? What do we know about this game? Would you like the Knicks as favorites here? Do you think they get back on track?
I like the Knicks to cover.
So
because it's the Mecca, man. They get 4 points just for being in New York. You just give them that, and if it's right in there, man, I kind of like this just because I think Brunson's going to have something. That's not the Knicks that we know. I do think this is going to be kind of like the Alamo, though. I think this is going to be their last stand and all hands on deck. But I like the Knicks tonight. I do, just because they're running out of time, and I think they all realize they don't have enough bullets to win this game.
I think like the Alamo, the home team loses, and there's different battles down the road.
Yeah.
But I don't think they get this one done. So I'll take 2 points with the Pacers.
Really?
I think getting those points makes me feel good. I didn't have a great feel as a pick. Like I didn't think there was a lot of edge. I think this could be like a last shot of the game kind of thing. Most of the Knicks games have been, but it certainly feels like they're running on fumes.
Well, you scared me away. I'm not touching it. Moving on.
Moving on.
I was about to spend some money, but I won't.
The T-Wolves are at the Nuggets. The Nuggets, 4.5-point home favorites in a series that no one wants to win a home game in. Do the Nuggets break that streak tonight? Are the Nuggets going to take a 3-2 lead after I wrote them off?
Man, it's all on Joker, right? I mean, this is as Shai Gilgeous defined himself last night, became that. Joker's going to have to prove that he still can do it. That he's done it before. They've crossed that thing. I think they're going to do it. I like them. I think Joker, they poked the bear woke up, and I think Minnesota's questioning themselves today.
I wonder, but I know Anthony Edwards, he doesn't seem to lack for self-confidence. I expect he's going to take things into his own hands tonight. I think he has a big game. I think the T-Wolves have to win this. I really do. I mean, Because if it gets to a game 7, I can't fade the Nuggets. You can't fade the team that's got the championship DNA and has been there and done that in a game 7, in my opinion. I think the T-Wolves need this one. I think they come out hungry. That's the way I would lean tonight.
On your fantasy prop, Anthony Edwards at 29.5 points.
I like over.
I like the over as well.
I like over. To me, he's going to have to take over this game. And boy, it's very correlated because I'll tell you this: if Anthony Edwards doesn't score 30 points, Timberwolves don't have a chance. Like they're not winning this game if he doesn't score 30.
I'm going to watch, as far as the game itself, I'm going to go back to that Aaron Gordon matchup and see how he or Karl Anthony or whoever they pick to guard him, how effective he is and who they choose to put on the others. I think is going to play a huge role in the night.
It's so weird that this team, the T-Wolves, have been so good defensively all year, and then they have games like Game 4 where they just look like they don't know what they're doing on that end. Like Gobert looked awful on defense, which I guess everybody's going to have bad games, but man, maybe pick a better time to have that bad game than Game 4 of the Western semis. Might be the move. I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there as a possibility. 2 games on the ice tonight. The Florida Panthers. How about this? Florida opened as plus 135 dogs. Florida's now minus 195. There's some news or something. I don't know enough about it to feel like I've got an idea what's happening. But minus 195 on the Florida Panthers. And Vancouver and Edmonton. Edmonton minus 195. I said this the other day. Is there on Prize Picks? Is there a prop for penalty minutes? Because if you can bet the over/under on penalty minutes, I like the over. I said this at the end of game. What was it? Game 4 when they cross-checked Connor McDavid. I said, "Oh, if Edmonton has a stone in their sack, they are going to throw gloves down as soon as the puck drops, and there will be violence."
No penalty minutes, though we can go shots on goal and time on ice, but no time off ice.
Time on ice is sort of relative, right? I forget the guy's name. Well, I'll have to look it up. I want to find the guy that
Barkov, Pasternak, Chuk, McAvoy, Montour, McDavid, Miller, Drysdale, Patterson, Bouchard, and Hughes are your choices for this evening.
Okay. Look, I want to know who were the guys that put those cheap shots on, and I want their ice time under. Because, again, penalty minutes don't count as ice time. And I think I don't know if they're going to be starting fights, but they're going to be involved. And that'll get you thrown in the hockey slammer. So that's something I am looking for. The Houston Astros playing a little better ball of late. Got a win yesterday. Ronel Blanco takes the mound for them. JP Sears going for Oakland. The Astros minus 170. This opened minus 200, so some money's come in on Oakland. They're saying Astros can't keep winning, right? They stink. I don't know. We'll find out tonight. I certainly.
Did Pitch get the win? Who got the win yesterday? I need to dig that up. What's the pitch? The rookie?
Arrighetti.
Did he get it?
I think Arrighetti got the win. He got the win. He got the victory.
Hey, come on, Stros. We need this young guy to get it down. That's 2 wins.
The Rangers, they're sending the young buck to the hill as well. Jack Leiter takes the mound for Texas. They are minus 118 against Cleveland, who throws Ben Lively. Texas is playing.
I'm all in
horrible
on this
right now.
I like the Rangers. I like Leiter today.
You got to fix it.
I feel it. I feel it. It's coming.
Man, they got their ass kicked yesterday. I think it was 7-0. Just no showed. And the totals at 9.
Oh,
so they're expecting. I'm guessing they're expecting less out of Ben Lively than what the Guardians got yesterday. But Jack Leiter, I mean, his first, and this is the way it typically goes with guys making their first start. Rookies get called up to the big show, and one of 2 things happens: either they pitch a gem right out of the gate, or they get absolutely hammered. And Jack Leiter was in the latter. He got absolutely hammered. It's rare that they go like 6 innings, 2 earned runs allowed. A solid start. Right. No, it's either 6 innings, shutout ball, or 2 innings, 8 runs allowed, and Jack Leiter was the latter.
But the Turk's coming for you. You might start out fast as that early pitcher, 6-7 innings, and you're whiffing people. Then film starts to catch up.
That's true.
And then they come find you. He found it first. Later, they got it early.
Remember yesterday I said that Ronaldo Lopez and boy, I'm going to butcher his name. The pitcher from Chicago, the Korean guy.
Yeah.
Shota Imanaga.
Imanaga. We got to.
I said, let's go with the under in that game. 2-0. 2-0 was the final. Easy winner.
He's
in
legit,
that
isn't he? Dude, this guy throws.
His ERA is now down to 0.96 in 8 starts. 0.96. That's pretty good. He struck out 8 guys yesterday in 5 innings. I think he might be onto this baseball thing. He might have something. And Ronaldo Lopez for the Braves, he left the game early with back tightness, but he pitched 5 innings, 4 strikeouts. I think 1 hit allowed, 1 hit, 1 walk. I mean, both guys pitched great. But yeah, that Imanaga is on a different level right now. He's got it figured out.
A lot of afternoons when I was a kid watching Braves Cubs and going back between WGN and TBS, watching the covers between the two. It's a good summer afternoon. Cubs, Braves, but I never saw an Imanaga standing up on the Cubs bump.
Well, Cubs Braves tonight.
Yeah.
Jamison Tyone and Chris Sale. Chris Sale getting this. Chris Sale, one time dominant starter. Now, you never know what you're going to get.
Once you leave Boston, it's never the same.
Jamison Tyone, once a number, I want to say I think it was the 2nd overall pick in the draft, from the Woodlands, Texas. Buddies with his brother, actually. But JMO, once a highly touted prospect himself, now these two guys are pitching against each other with a total of 8. So not much expected out of JMO and Chris Sale tonight. But Sale is a -192 favorite. Speaking of pitchers who were once highly regarded and now not as much, Dylan Cease, who is last year was rough for him. Maybe it's change of scenery. Get out of the White Sox poisonous clubhouse where everything and everyone sucks. He's a -270 favorite tonight. Most likely because he's hosting Cal Quantrill and the Colorado Rockies, who the Rockies have won 5 games in a row.
Okay, so you still got the prop hanging out there for 9 consecutive losses, right?
No, I need 11.
I got 11.
I need over 10.5. Yeah.
I think you might need to eliminate your Rockies from contention.
Yeah, all of a sudden they're fighting. What the hell's that about? The times when this is going to likely hit is going to be after the trade deadline, when teams that stink trade away their 1 or 2 good players, and then they really, really stink. The frickin' Reds lost 11 out of 12. They got to 9, they won 1, and then they lost the next 3. So it's like, damn it.
I'm trying to throw together a prize picks combo here. I need your help. I'm looking at who's going to get a home run tonight. Everything's at half. Schwarber, DHing for the Philly, going against the Mets. Rafael Devers taking on Tampa Bay. Marcell Ozuna taking on the Cubs. Matt Olson, Ozzie Albies, Aaron Judge in Minnesota. Juan Soto, Adolis, Corey Seager.
Oh, not Corey Seager. Good golly, can he even swing a bat? I don't know.
Kyle Tucker in Oakland.
I mean, that's a good question.
This one there's one in here.
There's got to be
one in here. What do you guys
I
think?
might go with Aaron Judge. I might go with Aaron Judge. That might be the move. Chris Paddock. You know what I would say? Look for one of these games that has the high totals. Look at that Rangers Guardians game where they're expected to score 10 runs. Pull one of those guys. If it's a Adolis, let it be a Adolis.
It's going to have to be a Adolis.
Yeah.
All right. There we go. That's what we do.
So you can, with prize picks, you can do cross sport stuff.
Yeah.
I gotta sign up for this. I need to get in the action, baby. I need some of that. All right. So there you go. That's the daily lines. And hopefully, like I said, we've got some winners tomorrow. Nothing that I'm in love with necessarily today, but it is fun just taking a look, seeing where you're leaning.
It's going to be an interesting night tonight to see how the NBA balances playoffs versus WNBA.
It shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be, but I get the sense that we're going to get a lot of stuff all day long.
Are we going to cut away?
I wonder. I'm curious. And another thing that happened last night that is new to me. Did you notice that PJ Washington for the Mavs got interviewed in game? I don't think I've ever seen that before.
They did it with Chet Holmgren last night too.
It
was the second quarter.
Is that new?
It's like you just hey Chet, you just got your ass kicked in the first quarter. What are you going to do differently this quarter? Score more points, allow less points.
I like it, but I'd rather my guys focus on the game.
Yeah, a little weird. All right, there you go. Another huddle in the books. Rob, it's been fun. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll do it all over again. It is the Morning Huddle right here on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, KT.